think I'm just I'm at the top there. There I am. They're just doing the final table picture. It's annoying because I didn't get a good spot for the final table picture. I'm like you can barely see me in the picture. I'm like right at the back, but like it's not like I'm in like one of the gaps. Because I remember looking at the final table picture and I was like, where am I? You see me just like hovering at the back, like because I'm dead tall. I got chucked at the back. Here I am. Yeah, I get put right behind the trophy. So you can barely see me because the trophy's like right there. You can just see like my eye just poking behind the trophy. Whereas everyone else you can see clear as day. It's a shame that like you don't have like time before the final table starts to like, because I wish I could have like got some of my family down, but obviously it's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? Because it's like you start day 3 and there's still like, how many people was there at the start of day 3? Like 200 people? Was it 200? Or was it like 150 or something? So it's like you don't want to say to them, oh, come down at the start of the day when it's like you might not even make the last 100, you know what I mean? I don't know how, like, because the guy who won it, Kyle, he had a huge rail. I don't know what point he said people to come down. Maybe they're sort of local, which is why so many people were able to get there, because like I had a few people come down, but it was like, you know, proper last minute, like, you know, I've made the final table, like, and then they drove straight down.
184 runners, we're now down to the final 9. The biggest Goliath there has ever been, and the winner's check of £200,000. In seat number 1, can we have a huge round of applause for Saeed Yolmo with 16 million chips?
This is the lad I went to university with. This lad right here. Hey, go on, Will. Go on, Will. Get that camera out, lad.
7 million chips. Mr. David Reed. In seat number 5, with 30 million chips, it's Charlie Tarimo. In seat number 7, with 43 million chips. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a massive round of applause for the final 9 of the Goliath 2022?
Final table just about to kick off. All the announcements done. We have 9 players remaining, 10,584 entries. We are now down to the final table. Run you through, if you just missed the announcement, who is going to be where. Saeed Yuma in 1, David Reed in 2, Georgian Georgescu in 3, Kyle Jeffrey in 4, Charlie Tarimo in 5, Gareth Cresswell in 6, Geeks is in 7, Luke Cheslin is in 8, and Peter Norton is in 9. And that's the FT we got ready, and here he is.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
He's got the FT outfit on. He's got the FT outfit on.
So at the start of the day, we started off fourth in the pack, which is decent that we came 3rd actually, because I guess we finished one higher than the position we started in. I didn't realise Georgian was so high actually, because he didn't play a hand the entire day. And I'll get to him in a bit, because he definitely had a chip on his shoulder with me. Georgian was not a big fan of me at all. He did not like me at all, but I'll get to that later on.
330, 420, 480.
I didn't realise Geeks was so high either. So I don't remember him playing a hand until he actually shoved and then bust. God, Luke, oh my God, this is so sick. It's crazy, like when you look back at this now. Like I didn't realise Luke was bottom with 7 big blinds, and he ended up coming 2nd. That is actually mad. That That's crazy. Saeed, yeah, he bust early. Peter, yeah, but he bust early. Gareth bust early. Wow, Luke managed to fade. What? That's sick. This is why I think like you should look how shallow everybody is. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players who are sub 20 big blinds. 6 players who are sub 20 big blinds. 1 player who's got 20 big blinds. Like, this is crazy, and it's a final table. Like, you should surely just put the blinds back right a few levels, just so you've got a little bit more room to maneuver, a little bit more play. Like that's why the likes of Giggs and Georgian barely played a hand, and Peter and Gareth just got their first hand in they could, and unfortunately bust for them. But and Saeed as well, everyone just sat and waited for a hand to get all in. Like, is that not boring? Like, from a production standpoint, do you not want people to be playing hands, people to be making moves? You can't play poker when everyone's got sub 20 big blinds. I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, that's just the cash player in me. So yeah, straight away it was one of the, I think it was that might have been the second or third hand. Straight away we get put in a spot.
Password is 10584. The amount of runners we had in this tournament, 10,584. 10584 is the password.
Am I in it? Yes, I am.
So Charlie, ace queen of diamonds here. And Peter's standing up, so that can only mean one thing, Tower. Peter must have shoved all in. And Charlie going to have to call, I think, when it comes back round to him. It's not Gareth that shoved here. It's Peter in the big blind. And what is this? 11 bigs. We've got ace, queen of diamonds.
So looking at this, like, I mean, it's so different when you're looking at it from effectively an outside perspective, looking in, and you're not in the moment itself. But like, looking at the numbers now, like, when I raise here and Pete shoves for 10, 11 big blinds, I should really just be snapping it off, really. But it's like a huge portion of my stack, and that's why I think about it for a little bit. And but when you look at it here, it's like, how can you possibly fold when you've just opened and then someone just ships for 10 big blinds? Like, you just have to call it off, don't you? Obviously playing for this amount of money is so different.
Pretty close, Tal. I wouldn't know. Because of the stack sizes, this is a real unique situation, this Goliath event, when we get to this stage of the tournament with the payouts, what they are. Like, there's so many stacks. I think 7 of the 9 are 20 big blinds or less. And
yeah, that's literally what I was just saying. Like, it's just crazy. Like, and to be honest, the thing with me is, like, I've said so many times, I'm not a tournament player, but I know ICM these days plays a huge part in people's decisions these days. But without going into it too much, I just think it's just so boring, and it's just not poker when you're thinking about ICM. Like, if you're playing, you play to win, right? You don't play for ICM. Like, oh, I'm gonna make this fold just because someone might bust out soon. And I completely get it. Like, it makes perfect sense. If someone sat there with 5 big blinds and they might bust out soon, and you might make an extra like 10 grand, then yeah, okay, you should fold, right? But what are you gonna do? Just keep folding and folding and folding until they bust out. And then what if they don't bust out and they actually double up? Now you're the short stack. Now everyone's waiting for you to bust out. It's just, in my opinion, it's just really, really boring poker, and in a way killing the game, or killing tournament poker, because like, you play to win. You play to win. So the only way you're going to win is by getting your chips in the middle and getting a stack. And you know, you don't just play because he's going to bust out soon, so I'm going to fold ace queen suited pre-flop. Like, oh, come on, give us a break. Like,
the pay jumps start to get really significant on the final table.
If you're not playing to win, then why are you playing?
So that's why Charlie hasn't snapped this off. At a different stage of the comp, this would obviously be a snap for just under 11 big blinds. But Charlie going to have to put in 2/3 of his stack here to make the call. I think we're still probably going to see him make the call tower, but he's just weighing up.
It's just like this is because where I'm going with this is like, I mean, I'm not like having a go at anyone, or it's just like I just feel like because like Jay the commentator is saying, who's by far 10 times better at poker than I am. You know, he's saying it could go either way here. It could go either way, like, you know, fold or a call. But like I just feel like folding in this spot is just so, for one, nitty, and two, if you're not calling here, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? Yeah, he could have ace king, aces kings, whatever, blah blah blah. But like, what, you're gonna raise ace queen suited and then fold for another 8 big blinds? Like, just because someone's short and just because there's a lot of money on top, like. I completely understand that, like, money, the amount of money that's at top affects the decisions made, but like, why should it? If a correct decision is to call or fold, then you should call or fold based on that, based on the information you've got and based on playing good poker. You shouldn't just fold just because it's a lot of money. I don't know if I'm getting my point across really, but I just feel like, yeah, you might never be in this situation again. So therefore, but why don't you look at it in a positive light? You'll never be in this situation again, so I'm going to get it in so I can get a big stack and win it. I don't know. It's just the whole ICM thing. I just think is just, and obviously it's a very modern concept in it. So it's like, back in the day, you never would have seen people folding just to. I don't know, I'm rambling now.
How are we doing, LF95? Bizarre scenario, having 2 pals to rail on the Goliath final table.
Wow.
Huge good luck to Charlie, Gambit, and Young
Call.
Geeks.
We call with the ace queen.
Oh no way! So someone commented in the chat there. I didn't realise who it was, but I don't know who it was, but obviously it's someone who knows Geeks and he knows me too, and he was like, yeah, that is pretty unique. That, imagine having a final table this huge and you know 2 people at the table. That's crazy.
Hit 5s.
So every time I'm all in, you'll hear Adam in this bottom left corner just go absolutely nuts. It's so funny. He's always just shouting for the car. Like, I think there's one a bit later on where it's like back doors and he's screaming for a back door on the turn. He's like, spade! And there's only 2 spades on the flop. Spade! And he's absolutely wasted, by the way.
Player at risk, but is ahead at the moment, not equity-wise. Looking up there, Charlie actually 58% here.
Someone commented, they kept saying, why'd you keep... I think it was Adam actually. He said, why'd you keep standing up every time you're all in, like when you're not at risk? And I get, like, I'm not at risk and I'm not going to bust out, but it's just like, it's a big moment, innit? So it's like, don't know, I just had to stand up. I wanted to pace round, to be honest, but
so I'm guessing lots of all the aces and queens are...
You can see me like waving from side to side because I'm just like so angsty, like I couldn't just sit there. Like...
And there's probably a 5 in the muck, the fact that his equity's this high with these 2 hands. There's a lady.
The queen shouted, the rail go wild.
No help on the turn for Peter. Can he find one of the remaining 5s to stay alive?
One soul voice shouts. Bless.
We get the first knockout.
From the Rulas, a great effort from Peter Norton. What a run from him, making a final table in a 10,000 plus man field. He's going to take home £14,630 for his troubles. And now we are down to the final 8 players. Everyone locking up £17,070.
Well played, that man.
Appreciate it,
Well,
Tower.
I wish I had a hat like yours, that gold hat.
Yes, that was a really nice feeling. It was like I said, it was the second or third hand of the night, and I bust someone straight away. So I settled in so quickly. So that was nice. You don't understand. Oh god, yeah. And then when I saw that queen, oh, it's just such a good feeling. Such a good feeling.
Get one. Not bad.
Oh, then straight after, yeah, we pick up pocket queens. I don't remember this hand, but yeah, we get pocket queens straight after.
14.6k, of course. Huge payday for these players, and Charlie
waking up the ladies. Hey. We got 30 bigs now, so we got a little bit of wiggle room, so we can open.
Look at the rail. We're behind.
Awesome. They were on the shots before they started.
Were they?
Oh, yes. 10 Jaegers, please.
Darren Brown, why does the dealer wear headphones? She's wearing that headphones because she lets our action tracker know what the bet sizing is, whether a player's folded, calls, if anything needs to be corrected. She can just quickly tell our action tracker, and then he will input it into the system for us to then commentate on half hour later. So it's just for the communication between the dealer and our action tracker. So say for example Mike.
Yes, we just raise and take it down.
He didn't know what the size
Nothing interesting really.
was, or he missed it, he can just one go. Aware of the ladders, aware we're in the middle of the pack and we don't really need to get involved while we've got a couple of shorties around the table, potential to lock up another 5 figures if we would just wait for those to get their chips in and potentially bust. And we got an all in here, we've got Gareth.
Oh my God.
So sick, like it's so sick. You just sit and wait for a hand, and you know you come to the final table as a short start. You sit and wait for a hand. You get pocket tens, which is a lovely hand to get. And he's got what? He's got what? 15 big blinds? 15 bigs, 13, 14 bigs or something. And he gets pocket tens, and it's a lovely hand. You get it in, and then you just get run straight into kings from Geeks. Sick.
He's shoving the tens as he should be for 13, 14 bigs. And Geeks finds the kings behind, and then Gareth gonna need some help here. Gareth in search of a 10 to survive. There's no help there, no runners either, so gonna need a 10 on turn or river, otherwise we're gonna lose another one. 3 of clubs on the turn. River card. It's a 9. Oh, man. So back-to-back bust outs. Gareth Cresswell, great run from him. 8th place for £17,070. Really good showing here.
That's so unfortunate that from Gareth. He's sound as well, that guy too, because we played it quite a bit on like the sort of semi-final part of the day when we were on the table just before the final table. We played quite a bit together, so he was sound, that guy. So it's just really unfortunate.
Goliath X, but just like that, down to 7 players now, and everyone into the 20k remit. I think they'd be eliminated because it wouldn't have been of their own.
That could ever happen, could it?
I guess
you have to be sat next to each other for a start. Then you have to be... No, I don't know. I don't know. Weird one.
No, I noticed when I went back through the final table and watched, Saeed tanked so much. Obviously, I didn't know what he had at the time, but he loves a Hollywood, this guy. Because look, why is he taking ages pre-flop? He's got Jack 3 off, and he's got like 11, 12 big blinds. Come on.
Let's hope that scenario never happens. Ever. How many chips are in play? 264 million. Did Jay read your whisper? Somebody's.
How does George? I mean, he's got 20 bigs. Like, how do you not shove there? I personally, I would shove that. I don't know, button shove, queen 10 off with 20 bigs, like. Because like, at this point, stealing the blind, well, at any point really, but especially on the final table, stealing when everyone's got sub like 20 big blinds, stealing a big blind and a bit and the ante and whatever is so huge. Like, how can you not shove Queen 10 there? I think that's crazy.
Whispering to you against them.
I think this hand is pretty. Oh no, it's a walk. Oh, it's just a walk.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Right,
There were so many walks,
tell you what you can do,
and that's
while he's just
gonna.
looking. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll
That's
buy
part of my
everybody a drink
argument
with
as
all
to
the
why
money
I
I've
did
got
what
in
I
every
did a bit
single
later
pocket
on.
This jacket. They're not real pockets. They're not real pockets.
You hear Adam shouting just because I got a walk. It's always like a couple seconds behind as well because he's watching it on like a delay type thing. On a different screen. Yeah, there was so many walks, but I'll get to that later on. I feel like everyone was just playing so tight and so anyway. Well, I have sixes.
Charlie has asked for his name to be changed to Gambit, so
Oh,
on the
right.
stream we do oblige.
Was he?
Yeah, so listen to what the commentators say here.
Has asked for his name to be changed.
Right.
So Charlie has asked for his name to be changed to Gambit, so on the stream we do oblige.
Was he?
In
Why is that
C5,
then?
I don't know.
Why on earth's that? Gambit?
Yeah, so obviously, right, you've noticed that my name has gone, it's changed from Charlie to Gambit, right? And you obviously, understandably, the commentators, Tower and Jay, they were super confused, but fair play, like, they just, they went along with it and, they were dead sound about it. So I didn't realise you could change your name on the stream to whatever you wanted. And this is the name that I use on my social media and online and stuff. So I figured, what a great time for a bit of free promotion. So I didn't realise that before I sat down. Then when I was looking at the names on the stream and I saw that this lad was down as Geegs, and obviously I just assumed that was not his like Christian birth given name or whatever. And it was a nickname. So I messaged my mate and I said, "Oh, get them to change my name to Gambit," because I figured, it's great promotion for my social media and poker and blah 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 blah, and the YouTube channel that I'm starting. So Gambit Poker. So I figured if I'm going to be called this in this world, then I should go by that. I should put it on the stream and stuff. So yeah, I got them to change it, but I forgot to tell the commentators. So I didn't tell the commentators, so they were just like, when it came through, they were super confused, like, oh right, that's weird, like why would he do that? Oh well, blah 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 blah. And then they like went backwards and forwards between calling me Charlie and Gambit, which is fine. It was just funny because I didn't realise you could do that. So obviously, yeah. Anyway, I don't remember this hand at all. I pick up pocket sixes under the gun. Obviously, we open, and then Luke's got ace 10. I'm guessing he because I don't go all in here. I'm pretty sure. So I'm guessing he goes all in and I call. No, and I fold. Maybe I don't know.
So, opens to 3.5 million, and Luke in the hijack here. Ace 10 suited. Just going to let this one go off of 13 big blinds. And Saeed thinking about it but never continuing with the Jack Deuce. David's going to do the same with the Queen 3.
Yes, Charlie! Come on!
And just
Yes,
raising take.
So you see what I mean?
Come on.
Like, there's just like, I mean, this is early on as well. Like, I mean,
Make sure as well.
it just seems so passive. Anyway, this is going to come back later on. This is why I've put this in the video, because it was just like, it felt like there were so many walks. There's definitely loads of walks, and it felt like there was quite a lot of raise and take it's as well. So I've put this in the video for a specific reason, because as to why I do what I do later on.
Watching on YouTube. showcases. What a great tourney this year again at Goliath. Thanks to everyone. Free roll password, please. 10584 is the free roll password.
Right, so this is, I didn't realise, oh well, it's not as early as I think, because obviously, like I say, I've edited the final table, but so this is why I've done what I've done here, because the table has been so passive. There's been no aggression, there's been loads of walks, there's been raise and take, it's like, and here the two short stacks are in the small and big blind, so I figured this is such a good spot to shove and just take the blinds. Like I was talking before with when Georgian had Queen 10, I cannot believe he didn't shove Queen 10. But then again, that was a little bit different because he had a bigger stack, one of the big stacks in the big blind, so I guess that is a little bit different, and that is something that I do actually need to look out for, because that's something that I got wrong in the next one. But here, the two shorties in the small, they have to fold so many hands. It puts so much pressure on these guys, and we scoop up this pot. It just increases our stack so much, and it just puts us, it just I don't know. I was feeling so good, and I was feeling confident, and I like being the aggressive player. I love the one being the aggressive player. Like everyone will tell you at the casino where I play, usually I'm one of them, probably too aggressive sometimes. A lot of the time, actually, you could argue about this final table that I might have been too aggressive, but I just like to be the one in the driving seat. So yeah, and obviously, like, I understand that, like, in tournaments you're supposed to do this kind of thing, and I understand you're supposed to do it, like, you're obviously supposed to widen your range when it falls around to you, and especially when you're on the button, you can open your range so much and just steal the blinds. But I don't know how, I'm not exactly too clued up on exactly how wide you're supposed to be. Like, this might be too wide, but it's interesting because a mate of mine who's actually on the rail, he's well more respected in the tournament field, and he's a much better player all around than me, and especially at tournaments, he's so good. He actually analysed this hand, and he put it into the solver or whatnot, or whatever you want to call it, and he ran the numbers and pulled up the ranges. I think I've actually got the picture he sent me, and he pulled up the ranges of a shoving range with this stack against these stacks in the small blind and the big blind, right? And Queen Deuce suited was a shove, apparently. So I think I've done all right as someone who has someone who has very little experience playing tournaments. I think I've done all right to pick a spot here to shove and take the blinds where I'm just off by the suits. Like, if it was Queen Deuce suited, it's fine, it's alright, it's allowed, but Queen Deuce off, no! Bloody hell, burning by the stake. So, obviously I don't want to get called here. Obviously, the last thing I want to do is turn my hand over. So what do we do? But you're not going to get, you can't get away with these things if you haven't got the balls to do it in the first place. So, and sometimes, what's the word? You get rewarded. What do people say? You create your own luck or whatever. You don't get lucky if you don't get put in that situation or whatever, or you create your own luck or blah blah blah. So yeah, anyway, so we shove, hoping to just take it down, and unfortunately,
there's a free roll.
Geeks actually wakes up with a hand, which is just, it's an easy call, so it's just whatever. It's just unfortunate, really.
Every Sunday of the live stream.
So yeah, Geeks obviously just picks up eights, Snap gets it in like he should, and you can see my face. Look, you can just about see my face.
Free roll every Sunday.
Look, we're all in. At this point, I'm just paying for a sweat, like just a bit of a sweat. Just think about it, Geeks. You sure you didn't want to think about it just for a few seconds longer? And then he snaps me off and just look at my face. But he's got his chips in while I'm still counting mine out. And I'm like, fuck. I've just been caught live on stream with my hands officially in the cookie jar. That is my hand. This is the cookie jar. They're my hands. Bang! The lid just got slammed shut.
And Gambit here just shoves button. Giggs is in with the pocket eights.
Wow. So we shoved the button and we couldn't get all his chips back. Queen deuce for Charlie. Giggs has got eights.
Yeah, this is just awareness from Charlie Tower that these two with Saeed sitting over there short do have to.
I really appreciate that comment. So the commentator just said like it's really great awareness from myself, which yeah, I guess so. But so it made me feel a lot better about what I did in this hand, because like obviously like afterwards I was really like embarrassed, and I was like, you know, was that the right thing to do? I have no idea if that was the right thing to do or not. And then to hear the commentator, who's obviously a well-respected player in the field, like say that it was great awareness, you know, that gave me a bit of confidence back.
He's got eights.
Yeah, this is just awareness from Charlie Tower that these two with Saeed sitting over there short do have to call off tighter. But Giggs happy to just put it in here with the pocket eights and in great shape to potentially double up, get back to near where he was before losing the flip.
And you can tell my whole demeanor. Obviously, I know I'm not supposed to win this. You know, I'm just like, it's just GG's, right? At this point, you know, it's GG's. You got it in with the best hand. That I got caught. You know, it is what it is. And just in my head, I'm like, right, let's just move on and play the next hand.
Gambit can still find a queen.
And then that happens. It just comes queen deuce, and I'm like, literally. I think you can tell from my reaction. I'm literally like, what the fuck, like.
One of those.
Whoa,
top
one of them.
So
I'm staring at the table like, what the fuck is going on?
To survive here, king changes nothing. So Giggs down to 2 outs to survive the Goliath, and it's the Jack of Clubs. So Yong Se-Yu out in 7th place for £20,730. Really well done to him.
Yeah, just
Place for £20,730.
I'm just like,
really well done to him. That's a great run in this size field.
just absolutely, I'm absolutely just bewildered. Like, you know, I couldn't
I'm sure
believe
he'll
it.
be
Like,
disappointed, but the money might help
just
a little bit tomorrow. You wake up, you're sitting on 20.
it's so unfortunate. Like, unlucky Giggs, mate. Like, it's just like,
Grand. I think you feel a bit better then. But now everyone's locked up 26. 6k ladder for everyone.
And Adam goes, oh yeah, he has a go at me. I thought it was a good spot, like, especially like I say, they were playing so passively. No one, just everyone folding. I just thought it was a good spot, especially with the table dynamic. That's the one thing you don't see on like when you're watching the stream, is you never pick up on the table dynamic. And personally, I just felt like I could take advantage of it a lot. So.
Get in there. Yes, Charlie. Yes, Charlie. Go on, Charlie. Everyone's loving that Charlie's got there. Got plenty of support watching in the chat. And Charlie's locked himself £26,820 now. You see, just outlasting another opponent's worth £6 for you. If we can somehow get a few bust outs before we bust, it's worth tens of thousands of pounds. And I think that's why we're seeing people playing the way they are, and we see it a lot. I remember doing the Goliath 3 years ago. It's always the same on this final table.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like you shouldn't do that though, and I feel like if that's how it is all the time, then surely the way to exploit it is to play the opposite and to actually play really aggressive. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the old back in the old days when, what, I don't know if it was the old days, but when, you know, you're on the bubble. I remember like when the first book I read, it's outdated now, but you know, and it said like when you're on the bubble, You want to be playing super aggressive because everyone's just folding and folding and folding, wanting to get to the pay gap. So that's just a really good time to pick up some chips and improve your stack if you want to win it. Whereas like ICM argues the opposite way. It's like, no, you should just fold or whatever and get to the cash or whatever. That's just not me. It's not how I play. It's like what Jay was saying there with like everyone playing like super passively. Like, surely the way to exploit that is by being the one who's the aggressive one. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know, but I don't have much experience. But I just don't know.
We're playing for mega money for £150 buy-in.
And like I say, I know it's for mega money, but even more so that should make you play more so aggressive. If everyone's playing super tight and passive because they want to just ladder up and get the money, surely you should play really loose and aggressive. No? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to make people play tighter. It's going to make them take lines that look strange to you guys that you're not used to seeing, but it's how it is.
I thought the whole point of like trying to best a field is to exploit that field. So if everybody's doing the same thing, by definition, exploiting means that you do the opposite, so you exploit it, right? No?
They're not used to playing 1Ks, 2Ks. This is like their Vegas of the year, as we call it, and now they're in a spot to potentially make life-changing money. So you can fault their decisions, but if you're in the same situation and this was one of the biggest comps you got to play all year round, you'd probably be doing the same thing.
I'm not like you can see from what I do, but like the money was not on my mind at any point on this final table ever. There was never a point when I was thinking, oh, am I going to fold because of the money, or do I not get this in because of the money, or because someone might bust because of the money. Like, I was just playing poker and I was just playing the hands that I got and doing what I felt was the right decision to make. And I don't know. I just don't get it. It's like this hand now, right? So Saeed shoves ace 10, and it's 1 million, 2 million. So it's 5 big blinds, right? And we pick up king 10, right? So we're absolutely dominated, right? But we beat his entire, well, not his entire, we beat so much of his 5 big blind shoving range, right? We've got 2 big blinds in already. We only have to call off 3 big blinds. This is a snap call, right? But I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if so many people would have folded in this spot. Do you know what I mean? Because of the money, because there's so much up top to play for, or because someone could bust out soon. But like, I don't know. Look, and like I don't even. It's like I literally just snap call it. So, obviously you get the bad news, but it's like, if that's the right decision, to make, then surely you make it, right?
Chance to double up against Charlie, who's got king 10. Saeed is all in.
Like, I feel like I would have called that no matter what, no matter how big my stack was. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like a lot of people like would make a case for folding. I don't know. Just judging on the way this has gone.
This is only a 5.5 big blind shove, and we've got 1 big blind invested. So with his chip stack here, Charlie happy to flick in an extra 4 bigs with the king 10 suited. This is still going to do very well versus a perceived 5 big blind shoving range.
Flop time, baby.
Ooh.
Spades, oh my days, it's never easy, is it?
So fading spades now, as well as a king for Saeed.
Spade.
Clean turn card, 8 of diamonds. So doesn't want to see a spade or a king. River card.
Oh, the offsuit king!
Where has that
Even
come
worse
from?
than the spin.
Saeed ahead the whole way, but the river car kills his hopes and dreams to that £200,000 and being the story of the decade probably in poker. But still, what a run from him. You've got to remember he had the shortest stat coming back to day two. He was 1,075 of 1,007.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at busting Saeed out. I'm laughing at the fact that Adam is just going absolutely mental. You can hear him all through that clip then just going absolutely mental. When the king hits, he's like not even screaming, like screaming at the top of his voice. Oh, God. Apparently this guy had an absolutely crazy run. It would have been like one of the stories of the year if this guy won, because he was on day two. He was like he had one big blind or something, and then ended up being chip leader on day two. So crazy.
75, two big blinds, managed to spin it up to the chip lead.
Yeah. So at this point, like I'm thinking, bloody hell, right? I've got it in 3 times. And I've I've won every single hand, and I've not only won, I've bust them every single time. So I'm like, and twice I got it in bad. Actually, no, but technically 3 times I got it in bad because the ace queen versus fives I got it in bad. So like I got it in bad every single time, and I won every hand and bust them out. And so at this point, I'm chip leader. I'm thinking, bloody hell, like. This is mine to lose, do you know what I mean? And I'm killing it, and I'm picking up hands, and I'm finding spots, and then yeah.
Yesterday, and then managed to come 6th today from the 42 players that were coming back. £26,820 for his troubles. Great run from him. But now everyone locked just shy of £40,000, 39k in change, going to 5th place. Everyone's locked nearly 40 bag tower.
Like it's crazy now because like we lost what 4 people? Yeah, we lost 4 people so early on, so quickly on the final table. I don't know why I'm saying that, obviously it's the final table. And I bust 3 of them. And then now at this point there's 5 people left. It takes forever to get another knockout. It's weird. It's crazy. It just went boom, 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 boom. And then it was like this for ages. And I feel like it's probably like this for ages because now I just go absolutely card dead and I can't find any spots. And at this point, how has Luke not even blinded out? I mean, I've probably skipped a few hands that he might have played actually, to be fair. So look at that, top of the chart for pre-flop raise. Buzzing about that. What a shock! The cash game grinder is top of the charts.
Refugees a few months ago, even took it in a family into his own home, so would be great to see him close this one out. Seems like a really lovely chap as well, just smiling at the table all the time.
So we've got 40 bigs now, we're chip leading now, so now is where we can really start having some fun with a chip leader for the first time on the final table. So we've got just over 40 bigs, 42, 43 bigs. We could get ace jack off under the gun, so obviously we're opening.
Close this one out. Seems like a really lovely chap as well, just smiling at the table.
And then
all the time.
Luke wakes up with
Getting
ace
on with
king.
it when he loses a hand as a Gambit here.
And Luke's got what? 30 bigs?
Well, Charlie raises to 4.5, and Luke probably just wants to shove here, Tal. We saw there we go. This is the mistake that we saw Balin make earlier. Luke's not going to make this same mistake. Balin chose to 3-bet the ace king and then got 4-bet by pocket 4s and ended up folding. But for this stack size here, it's fine to just shove for 27 bigs 5-handed. Like, we're just going to get it through so often. And at the moment, just picking up blinds ante as well as an open for 2.5x is massive. And
I was trying to pause it before you saw what I did, but I don't know. I was quite surprised by this shove, to be honest. Again, maybe it's just because I'm not clued up on tournaments, but I feel like this is just a bit of a. There's just no need for it, really. No need to jam 30 bigs from an open with someone who's got 40 bigs. I don't know. Like, are we not just calling off with hands that he's beaten by? Like, am I ever calling off with ace queen? Am I ever calling off 30 bigs with ace queen? Ace jack, ace 10, king queen. Like, probably not. So I don't know. Like, if I was Luke, I would have just 3-bet. But it's interesting because obviously Jay is saying that it's perfectly fine and it's a good play and a standard play. But I don't know. Personally, I would have just 3-bet from that stack. Maybe like 3-bet a small amount to induce a 4-bet. Because like I say, I just don't. I mean, it put me in a really difficult spot, obviously. But obviously, I'm just not calling off Ace Jack off when I'm chip leader for 30 bigs. You know, so 75% of my stack. So I don't know.
Ante, as well as an open for 2.5x, is massive, and good fold there from Charlie. Just understanding the situation. Luke's probably never going to rip 27 big with ace 10, ace 9, these type of holdings. So basically praying to be flipping, like having Luke have 8s, 9s or 10s, and then most of the time we're going to be up against ace king, ace queen, and in a dominated spot. So good fold there from Charlie, but nice shove as well from Luke. Don't take that away from him. Some players wouldn't realise that we can shove some hands for 27 bigs over opens, and ace king in this scenario is definitely one that's going to be in there.
Yeah, you see, I'm one of them players that doesn't understand that you can shove ace king there. Exactly what he just said, but I don't know.
Ace 3 for David, out the way.
And you see, this is a great example of a hand, right, where I just feel like if there was more room to play, I could have really gone to town on this table. Do you know what I mean? Because this is the only example, right, I feel like, of this entire final table where some poker was actually played. Do you know what I mean? So folds around to Kyle. Kyle opens the button. We can't see what he's got. He's got Queen 4 off. So before we see the cards, I wish I'd paused it before we saw the cards, but like we're 5-handed and it's folded around to the button. It obviously is opening so wide, right? And I don't know. Oh, his stack's right there, 35 million. So he's got 15 bigs. So I mean, he should just really jam or fold, to be honest, I think. But yeah, so like I wake up with a King 10 off, which is like, you know, it's not the greatest hand, but like I just know that I'm crushing him so often here when he opens. So now that I'm
only Lambeth, only been watching 5 minutes, but
now that I'm the big stack and I'm the chip leader, I can do shit like this.
Fuel ins already with smaller stacks as big as 15 big blinds. I'd be inclined to play super tight on that basis, waiting for collisions to ladder. Wouldn't be a bad strategy, Lambeth.
You see, like someone has just someone in the chat has just said I would just sit there and wait for other people to fall, for other people to bust and ladder up. Like to me, that is just, what's the point in playing if you're gonna do that? It's like saying, like, why you wouldn't do it when you initially buy in, would you? So why would you do it here? And I know the reason why. It's because there's money to be made and lots of more money. That this tournaments are top heavy, so obviously the deeper you run, obviously you might want to start playing a bit more reserved. But in my mind, I don't know. I think that's just being a bit of a pussy. So if you're not playing for first, then what are you playing for?
It's worth a lot of money just outlasting another opponent at the final table. And I think these guys will have a slight understanding of that. Maybe not in depth as most, but they will have a slight understanding of that. How? Yeah,
I don't have an understanding. I have an understanding. I just don't necessarily agree with it. And anyway, hey, you see, so
maybe not in depth as most.
I 3-bet Kyle here, like pretty light, to be honest. Like this is a pretty light 3-bet. But I just know we're just ahead of so much, and like if he jams, it's just like, okay, well shit. But what did he open to?
And I think
you see, he raised to 4 million.
Have a slight understanding of that, maybe not in depth.
This is the other thing in tournaments that I've noticed is obviously, as opposed to cash games, is obviously like raise sizings are so different and have so much more meaning in tournaments. For example, like when you go big in a cash game, like it isn't as scary as in a tournament. Like because people are so protective of the chips in a tournament. I've noticed it was only from playing this that I realised that it's ironic because obviously in cash games the chips are actually worth cash, so you would feel like people would be really protective over their cash because if they lose that, then that's actually cash that they've lost. Whereas in a tournament, if you lose it, you don't lose anything. Like personally, do you? You don't actually lose money when you lose chips in a tournament. So why would you be so protective over it? But it's actually backwards. It's the other way around. People are so protective of their chips in a tournament, so protective. So, and I believe it's got to the point now where it's like instead of like 3, 4, 5x pre, it's like it's 2x or 2.2x or 2.5x or 2.8x, and then 3x is like a huge raise. So you see, Kyle opens to 4 million, which is a min raise, and I 3-bet, which is not that much. It's just over a min raise, really. Like a min raise would have been what 6 million, a min raise. But I make it 10 million, and yeah, 10 million is huge. It's a third of his stack. Right? So yeah, I just felt like I could really just dominate in these positions, and this is why I wish we had more room to play, really, instead of it being so capped with the stack sizes. Anyway, so we 3-bet to 10 million, and then Kyle just snap folds and
just outlasting opponents is going to be worth so much to us. Need to be tight up.
You are looking at the final 5.
And the commentators actually missed that, which was a shame, because that was the only 3-bet, I think, in the whole final table. I think that was the only 3-bet in the whole final table, without it being an all-in situation. You know, without me being all in, I think that was the only 3-bet at the whole final table, which is a shame, really, because you want to see more stuff like that, don't you?
Good to see people on the route supporting friends or family.
And to be honest, I think watching this back, I think I should actually open. Wait, do I open this? Can't remember. I hope I do. I hope I open this. Oh, I do. Nice. You see, like this again. Another spot, like 5-handed, king 6 suited on the button, definite open, 100%. They just have to fold so often, right? And we just pick up the blinds again. And I'm the chip leader. You know, I can put on so much pressure. Oh, unfortunately, David just decides to ship the a6, which was fair play. Very nice, well played, Dave. Yeah, you got me there. So there we are, top of the aggression frequency. That's where I like to be.
I think it's crazy they met Charlie at the university here in the United States, and now he's leading a huge tournament.
that's class. That. So someone just commented.
Close it out for Charlie.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm getting so like hyped and gassed at this point. Everyone's behind me. Yeah, someone just commented from someone I met at university in America. Said, I can't believe I met Charlie in America at university and now he's playing this tournament, blah blah blah. But I'd love to know who that was. I have no idea who it was, but it's just great that someone was.
Yes, that is.
Like, everyone was watching it, really. So at this point, right? So as I've said quite a lot, my mentality is you read the first or you last. I always have been. I'm super competitive, the most competitive person ever. So at this point, I'm not even thinking about deals or deals. I'm just thinking about playing. I want to play. I want to crush. I want to win, and I want to take it down. Anyway, my mate comes over and suggests that I should maybe consider a deal. I should be more specific actually. He suggests that I should consider an ICM deal. And the way it would have worked is, obviously I was chip leader, so I would have won the competition because I was chip leader at the time, which I don't really necessarily agree with, to be honest. I think that's a bit random, and I've never actually come across that before. I didn't even know that was a thing, that it just ends and I would have won. Obviously I would have been buzzing. I wouldn't have said no, carry on. I would have been like, yeah. If they all accepted ICM deal, I would have by 100% be like, yeah, that's fine by me. If that's the rules, that's the rules. So he comes over and suggests, look, maybe start thinking about an ICM, because he starts saying, like, it's going to be the biggest score of your life and blah 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 blah, and I literally had not even thought once about it, because I always said to myself, if I ran deep in a tournament, I would never deal, because I play obviously most nights in Manchester, and there's tournaments going on the side, and people always deal, and especially when it's like a big tournament, they do a big one at the end of every month, and like the final table always chops it, and I'm just like, what is the point? What is the point? Like, it's so boring. It's just like, I keep coming back to the same point of, if you're not playing to win, then what you're playing for. So, and I don't understand why, if obviously with tournaments, it's like, when you run deep, it's so hard to do. Effectively, it's so hard to do, and it's not like, if you're a very good player, you just run deep in tournaments all the time, like, so when you eventually do run deep in a tournament, you want to get max value. So I don't understand why you would suggest a deal when you've eventually ran deep in a tournament. So because you might not run deep again for weeks, months, or even years. Yeah. So anyway, so he comes over and suggests about an ICM deal, and then that's when I say at some point, do you want to? I suggested to somebody, do you want to look at the numbers? Blah 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 blah. I think a lot of this footage now is about the deal and stuff. To be honest, I think there's a lot of footage about the deal that I didn't really. Oh, this is actually is this? Oh right, this hand is sick.
Nope. So this is probably going to be played out. Carl here in the small blind with the ladies working.
This is so sick, right? Because me and Kyle, right, on a different table, got in a hand, right, where we were blind on blind, and it was the opposite way around. I was in the small blind and he was in the big blind, so I was sat on the other side, right? And I had a big hand, and I limped in, and he had he had like a, like a 15 big blind stack, 16 big blind stack or so. So I had a huge hand, and I limped in trying to induce the shove, because obviously when someone limps in from the small, like, you can just shove so wide in the big and just take it down again. So, and vice versa, obviously, if you can shove so wide from the small to just take down the big blind. But so I limped in this hand, and hoping for him to ship it, because he can ship so wide, and he didn't, which I was gutted about. I still won the hand, I think, but then we talked about it afterwards, and we talked about like how I wanted to do that and blah blah blah, and how he agreed and whatnot. And then we get in this hand here, and he picks up pocket queens in the small blind, right? And anyway, I'll just show you what he does.
With 13 bigs, like either or.
And he's only got 13 big blinds, right? He's only got 13 big blinds, okay?
Here, tower. I think completing might be the option here, because I think Charlie looks like the player that will just take it once.
Yeah, the commentator is absolutely spot on. Charlie is the type of player who will take it, and what he means by take it is if he limps in, then there's like 90% of the time I'm going to be shipping it, right?
Once we complete, he's going to shove really wide and set us in, but Carl's just going to...
Right. So Kyle, he just ships it, he goes all in, right? And like I say, if he limps in, I'm shipping like a vast amount of hands, so many hands, right? And what's so sick is that he ships it, right?
Move the triangle in himself,
And then I look down and I actually have a hand as well. I have pocket threes. So if he limped in, I 100% would have gone all in. 100%. There's no questions asked, right? But he goes all in himself. So now that he's gone all in, it puts me in an awkward spot where I'm like, I have to really weigh up, do I want to call this off with pocket threes and I'm the chip leader, and it's 15 big blinds, so yeah, it's funny.
Oh, it would have worked as well if we completed here.
Yeah,
Charlie would have shoved the threes.
Yeah,
we would have snapped it off.
100% would. 100%
Now
would.
it's hard to call here with
such
threes.
such a funny dynamic.
13 bigs. Like I say, most of the time we're just going to be in a flip situation. Is Carl ever going to? He'll have deuces in here, but is he ever going to have like more deuce X, like king deuce suited, ace deuce? Are they going to be in this?
So this was it. This was a really tough spot because it's 15 big blinds and I'm the chip leader and I've got a pocket pair in the big blind and it's small to big, so it's like like I said before, he could be shoving so wide just to steal the big blind. But I think one thing to note is that Kyle has played up to this point has played pretty snug. So I was in a gross spot here, to be honest. I wish he'd limped so it would have made my decision easier.
Shoves. But imagine if Carl actually found the complete here with the ladies.
Oh, I pick up the chip as well. I pick up the chip.
Would have worked the treat because Charlie then would have had the most standard jam with his particular hand. But I think threes here.
Letting them go.
Yeah, I agree, Tower. I just think more than a third of our stack, we're sitting pretty with the chip lead.
He's got himself to the chip lead. I don't think you're going to put yourself in a spot with threes to lose a third of your stack.
That's the follow. I agree. Imagine if Carl finds the complete.
Ah, so sick. And just with the table, with the dynamic that I mentioned before about the conversation we had, I can't believe he didn't limp. Like it's just. I'm so grateful that he shipped it. But do you know what? I'm so proud of how I've played up to this moment. To be honest, I think I've played well. I think I've played really well. I've been aggressive. I've taken spots. Like I've shown no fear. Like I've played to win. Like I'm actually proud of how I played, even though like a lot of people might say I got lucky and but it's just the type of player I am. I'm aggressive and I like to put pressure on people and I like to play hands and actually play poker instead of just sit there.
Trick shot, no. 1-0-5-8-4. 10-8-5-4.
Need the closer.
There's a pivotal moment
Well,
in this final table which really where my head went, and you'll know when it is. I'll let you know when it is.
If you go online, whatever browser you use, just type in grosvenorpoker.com and then just down.
Talking of which, I think this is it. So pick up Queen 10 suited, undergun +1 or middle position. Not too sure on the short-handed terminology. Now, obviously, we're going to open this, right? We're going to open. We like playing hands. It's 5-handed. Queen 10 suited. Nice suited connector.
Download the client. There should be a section where you can download the client. It will go onto your desktop, laptop, wherever you're using. You can even use it in the App Store. Get it on your phone. It'll take you a few seconds to make an account. You'll then see the lobby. You'll just go to tournaments. You'll find a £110 closer, 50k guarantee. Get yourself in and potentially have a deep run. And I reckon there could be 5 figures.
Right. I don't know if you saw it, but this is where my head went. And it's annoying because like the commentators missed it, and you'll see later on that the commentator says. So basically, what's happened is I've misclicked, right? And this is kind of just me, really. I'm clumsy. I'm very clumsy. I do clumsy shit. And I don't know. I guess the heat of the moment got to me. I don't know what happened, but basically, I went to open. I went to raise. Obviously, you've seen how I play. I'm aggressive. I'm not limping in under the gun hardly ever, right? And what's funny is I actually watching it back is I picked up a chip, but I didn't put it in. I left it on the side. Anyway, so
You'll just go to
look, so I pick up my chips to raise.
laptop, whatever you're using. You can even use it in the App Store.
The blinds are 1 million, 2.5 million, so the minimum raise has to be 5 million, right? I can't remember what I tried to make it, but I think I went to make it 5.5. But let me just have a look what I put in.
It'll take you a few seconds to make
Right, so
an account.
It looks like
App Store. Get it on your
right.
phone.
I've got that's a 2.5 million, and then
It'll take you a few
250k,
seconds to make an
250k.
account. You'll then
So I've picked up a 2.5 million and 500k. So I've put 3 million in, I think. I think what I've done is, right, I've just had I've had a complete brain fart, and these pink chips, which are actually worth 2.5 million, I think I just thought they were worth 5 million for one point, because I picked up one of them and then I put two 250s in. And the annoying thing is I didn't say raise, so obviously
get it on your phone. It'll take you a few
we pick up
seconds.
one 2.5 and two 250s. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so annoyed at myself because this is where the wheels fell off, right? Yeah. So anyway, obviously the dealer. I have no idea what I've done, and I've no idea what I've done. As you can tell from my reaction, the dealer then looks at it and is like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Tells me that I've misclicked. Then I have to just limp. And I play enough to know what I've done. I don't kick up a fuss about it. You know, I just roll with it. It is what it is. So then it has to be a call, right? And you can see from my reaction that I'm fuming.
You'll find a £110 closer, 50k guarantee. Get yourself in and potentially have a deep run. And I reckon there could be five figures up top in that
I'm
one.
just so flustered. I can't believe what I've just done.
Mick says he might use his
So then what happens now is that brings David in, and obviously Georgian just gets to check and see a free flop.
ticket and plan his float.
And you can tell I'm absolutely mortified with myself.
Didn't he win a closer ticket?
Yeah, he did win a closer ticket, yeah.
And they come in with absolute garbage.
So I was calling it, everyone was asking for a stewards in the chat.
Oh yeah, nearly won two.
Yeah. You know, the stewards inquiry on the giveaway.
And then we flop top pair, right? But because of what's just happened, right? I'm fuming in my head, right? I'm really angry at myself, and this is one thing I've learned about myself. I can't just forget about things like instantly. I've just started playing tennis recently, and it's really made me realise that, you know, if I lose a point, I centre on that point for so long in my head, and yet I've got 5 more points to play. Do you know what I mean? It's like this happened, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was so angry, and I was so pissed off with myself. And then we flop top pair on a 3-spade board, and I would 100 right. Oh, I'm just gonna.
So 5-6 queen 2-spade board, Gambit.
So we've let these two come in with absolute garbage. If I raised, which I was trying to, they would have both folded, most likely.
With top pair here after opening. We got David here with gut shot and 8 high flush draw. I should be checking this one over to the aggressor, who is Gambit, who probably wants to fire this one. Like heads up, may have some checks here, but 3-way with our queen 10. Probably just going to want to be firing here. There's Gambit. Just try.
Right, and it checks round, right, and now it's on me. And now at this point, I would 100% bet all the time, right? Like Jay's saying, I would bet if I'd raised pre, I would be betting this 100%. But because it was a limp, and now I've let these two come in, I just feel like I've put myself in a really sticky situation, because either one of them two could just have spades or have just some. I just don't know. I was just all over the place. I was all over the place in my head, and I was all flustered and didn't know what to do. So I just checked because I was just.
And get at least heads up to the turn. We're probably.
I just checked because I just didn't know where I was at. I didn't know what I was doing at this point.
Take it down now, but it's going to mix in a check. The freeway situation. Ace of diamonds on the turn.
And the commentator thinks that I've raised pre, so it's just carnage. So anyway, the ace hits the turn, right?
Not changing anything here. And checks once more over to Gambit.
And at this point, right, because they've both checked again, I'm thinking, okay, right, you know, they can't have much. And at this point, right, because they know that I wanted to raise pre, right? They know that I wanted to raise pre. I think if I bet now, it just looks like I have an ace. Do you know what I mean? Pretty much. I don't know. It's just I was just so I played this hand really weird, but obviously the reason was because of the limp and accidental limp.
He happens to just show down with his queen once his ace has rolled off. However, in terms of range, may choose to fire here. Obviously, this
because it's so stupid. Because they could just easily one of them could just easily have just ace 3, ace 4, like ace 5. Well, probably not ace. Well, yeah, they could have ace 5, I guess, but it's just such a bad bet, and I hate it. I really hate it, but it just obviously
it should hit us a lot more often than the callers in the blinds. So he's going to rep the ace-x holding. Although sitting here with the queen, which is also good, and I think this will be job done here. David here can't call. Yes, we got a flush draw and a gut shot, but just with a single spade as the draw.
I hate this hand.
We got the reverse.
I just hate this hand.
Obviously.
I hate this hand. Just watch my face. Just watch my face.
Just with a single spade as the draw.
So at this point, I'm just like, cause I'm so pissed off with myself. I just want the ace hits, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can rep the ace because they know I want to raise. They know I want to raise pre, right? So at this point, I was like, right, I can just bet the ace, and they'll just both fold, right? So I'm just praying for a fold. Just fold. Just let me have it. Let me have it. Let me forget what happened. Let me forget about the mistake, right? And let me have it, right? But no. David is an absolute tank.
You've got the reverse implied odds, obviously. The
He's a
times
beast.
Up against a bigger spade, and then sometimes.
So he raises. So David raises. Because I'm just so angry, right? I don't even think it through. I don't even take a second. And this is something where I think experience is needed. You know, I think a lot more experience. I would have taken my time. I wouldn't have misclicked in the first place, but I would take my time here, and I would actually think about the hand and what happened. And I mean, when he check raises it, what is he check raising? That he's checking flop and turn. Like that he's checking the flop and not like leading the turn. I don't like, you know. So he's never got ace queen. Like, I mean, I guess he could have ace 5, ace 6 maybe, but he might just lead the turn. I don't know. He probably would just lead the turn after it checks around on the flop. Because you don't want it to check round on the turn again. If someone's just got like the deuce of spades for some reason, like Georgian could have. So he probably would lead with ace 5, ace 6. He doesn't have ace queen, doesn't have aces queens, doesn't have 5s or 6s because again, he might have raised pre and also he probably would have led the turn. So it's just like, I think it's just, I should have just taken my time. Because yeah, but I just snap fold, as you can see. I just snap fold, and I just angrily snap fold because.
Yes, we got a flush draw and a gut shot.
We'll watch when he raises. I just shake my head, and I'm just so annoyed at myself.
Odds, obviously, the times that are up against a bigger spade, and then sometimes.
I just angrily.
He can't call.
Fold
he does something even better, Tower.
He raises.
He finds the rails. That is a much better move than a call. We're going to have more flushes out the blinds there. We are. We're going to have more probably value.
Nice hand, Dave.
It was just like, and if our opponent.
And it's just so annoying because if I didn't misclick, I see bet the flop and I take it down. End of. It's just really annoying, and then I would have been I would have been chip leading still. Would have been a nice spot. And
it's capped at like ace x at best, unless he's turn ace 6, ace 5. Then maybe he was just going to go after the ace x holdings and raise turn, fire river might have been the plan for David. Well played, sir. just gets the queen 10 off of it, and I think we should have just bet flop there personally, freeway as Gambit, but went for the check. I think if we're heads up, I wouldn't mind a check. I think it's one we can mix a check in, but freeway, I think we want to start thinning down the field. Trying to get heads up to the turn.
I just
still get value from bare spade hands, maybe some worse queen X that defend out the big blind, even some 6X with a spade in there as well.
Oh god, I don't want to
one of the
relive this
best at the
moment. Can't believe I
I
misclicked
think we're
it.
going to see a lot more of Jack over the years, to be fair. I think we could see him in 25Ks, 50Ks.
Anyway, look, another walk. And this is I've edited this, right? So like, I've obviously not put all the walks in, but we just, because this was just straight after that other hand, so I think it's just because I was involved in this hand as well. There were so many more walks that I just wasn't involved in.
What's going on here?
What's happening? What's happening?
All do very well.
Oh,
Right, so this is obviously we start talking away for. Oh my god, I can't speak. I got all flustered now after watching that hand again. So now we obviously go away and start talking about. We ask for the numbers for an ICM chop.
What's happening? Well, this is unofficial. It's just a.
Right, at this
So
point.
I'm just going to take a picture of that. See what.
At this point, right, I have no idea
happening.
what to do, like what to think, like what I want to do.
But
It's the biggest
I can't
money I've
see it
ever
being
played for in my
straight chop
life,
down
like-
the middle. It has to be ICM or no deal in my eyes.
So I was so grateful. I've got
Password,
this. There's
password for tonight.
my teammates, Adam and Liam, who come over. Adam's absolutely smashed. So I was. You'll see in a minute, right? He like grabs my head. He's proper intense, and he grabs my head, and he's like, "Look, da 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 da. Do this, do that." Rah, rah, rah. So like, I love him to bits, but like at this point, I was trying to like just speak to Liam because as much as I appreciate Adam's advice, I was just, Liam was sober as a bean, so I was like, look, right, I was just trying to. You can probably tell.
Is 10584. 10,584 of July till the 6th of August 2023.
You see, like I have no experience in these situations, right? So doing deals, never mind for this amount of money, right? So look, look at him grab.
Do I remember the drunk guy on the stage at Joker's Wild? Yes, I was there.
And I'm trying to talk to Liam, and he just keeps like, look.
Wanted to sing a song.
You can do this.
I'd had a bevy. Hopefully just got
anyway,
released for the
look,
evening.
He pushes my hand away.
And nothing came of it.
Look, listen.
Sometimes too much is
I'm just like, fuck off, let me speak to Liam.
So back to the table.
Yeah,
All
so
the players
basically,
around.
anyway, what they were telling me was exactly what Tower, the commentator, was just saying. It's, if you're gonna take a deal at this point, it's ICM only. You don't take a deal that anyone else suggests. You take ICM only because that's the fairest way possible. You've done really well to get in this spot. You're now chip leader. You don't play all that time to get to chip leader and then just give all your equity away and give all your money away. So anyway, I let it play out. So that's basically the
I don't
advice
see why
that
refusing a deal is stupid.
they were giving me.
Somebody's got 10 bigs, somebody's got 70 bigs. I don't see why it's stupid at all.
And like I say, I'm so grateful because at that point I'd never even thought about it. I never even thought about if I was in this situation, what would I do? So I had no idea what to do. I hadn't thought
If they
about
don't
it.
want to do an
so the fact that they were there,
then they won't do a deal.
coaching
Can't do a
and
deal.
giving
I
me
don't think,
advice
personally.
was great. So yeah, obviously we come back and now the tournament director or whatever gives us the official numbers.
Right, see what the figures are. Let me
Basically,
just
how
have a
this
quick-
works for anyone who doesn't know what's going on is a complete amateur. So basically, what they're going to do is they're going to count up everybody's stack and then tailor it towards the prize pool. So, for example, the prize pool is I don't know however much was left to play for, but for example, if I've got a certain amount of the chips, if I've got like 70% of the chips, then they'll give me 70% of the prize pool. You know, if Kyle's got like 10% of the chips, then he gets 10% of the prize pool. If he's got 15% of the chips, he gets 15% of the prize pool. Blah 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 blah. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? It's the fairest way possible. Basically, you would get paid out depending on how many chips you have in the event. Okay, and it would just end here. I don't know if I've explained that. I think one of the commentators explains it anyway, and he'll explain it better than me.
So David will get 117.
So they're gonna go through how, if we ended it at this point, dependent on how many chips we've all got, right? This is how much we would get. So David would get 117,000.
Georgian would get 82. Kyle will get 91.5. Charlie will get 120. And Luke will get 111. That's if they agree the numbers right now. In the mates, any backers?
So I don't know if you hear that, but the tournament director just said, if you agree this deal now, the person with the highest chips will win the tournament. So obviously that was me. So I didn't know that at the time. So I heard that and I was like, whoa, bloody hell, let's go. So I would have been buzzing if they just went, oh yeah, that's sound, let's do that, fuck it. It's the fairest way if you're ever going to do a deal, like, so.
What's going on with the numbers then, Tal?
They're the numbers.
Bring me up to speed.
Oh, Charlie, 121, 117 for David, 112 or 111, 91 and 84. That's as an ICM chop.
Are they taking it?
Not yet. There was Georgian says, can we chop it evenly?
Right, so I was waiting for this, right? So, did you just hear that? Right. I'll just play it again for you.
Chop.
Are they taking it?
Not yet. There was Georgian says, can we chop it evenly? Well, you'd want to do that with 10 bigs.
Right, so this is what's interesting, right? So as you can see, I'm at the back talking with my mates, right, about what to do. Everybody else is at the table, right, and they're all talking amongst themselves, right? Talking, like, suggesting deals, like, we should do this, we should do that. And this guy, Georgian, suggests to do an even chop. So basically what that would mean is we all get an even split of the money, even though right now we've got a massive portion of the chips compared to like what he's got. He's got 10 big blinds, I've got like 40, so I've got a huge advantage at this moment in time in the game, to put it in really basic terms. So that's just ludicrous. That's absolutely ludicrous, because obviously, fair play to the lad. If you're in his spot, you want to take an even chop because you're getting so much more money, because you're most likely to bust out next. So he's most likely to bust out next and get, I think, 40k, whereas he's trying to ask for an even chop, which would have been 100k each. So he's trying to ask for 100 grand each, right? Even though he's likely to get busted out next and get 40 grand. And then that means that I'm going to be guaranteed at least 60 grand or whatever it was with the ladder. So yeah, it's just absolutely ludicrous. And you don't have to be a poker genius. You don't have to be an absolute mastermind to just understand that. It's just crazy. You think I've just played all that time to become chip leader, to then go, actually, you know what? Let's just have an even chop of the money. Yeah. Let's just all go home with 100 grand, yeah? Even though I'm in the lead, and if I keep playing well and things keep going my way, I could win, and I could be the champion, and I could get the trophy, and blah, 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 and get 200 grand. Like, no, it's just no. It's such a loser's mentality, in my opinion. It's a theme of this video. Play to win. You know, but like I say, fair play to Georgian, because he actually tried to put it out there, because he's trying to basically get another 60k for no reason. Anyway, I'll let you know. I'll tell you what happens. So this is currently what's going on. They're all talking about making deals, and I'm just at the back.
Now he does.
And I don't realise what they're talking about because I'm in my own world. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. I've got Adam down here.
Just catching up on the chat.
Right, so you don't know if you just heard Luke then just go like, who wouldn't take it? Like an even chop, like 100 grand each. Like who wouldn't take it? Like I just don't. Like, just.
How we doing, Matt Skides? Take it Towers read the chat out for me while I've been away.
Anyway, and Kyle then just said, yeah, I'll take that as well. And obviously Georgian will take that, and I've no doubt David would have probably have said yes to it too, right?
But,
Yeah.
I've done all that. Good power, mine, Matt. Well, I'm Matt.
Because David's just a recreational player, you know. I'm sure he'd just be happy with being like, yeah, no, that's sound. I'll take 100k. So these guys, all four of them, right, have sort of somewhat agreed unofficially that they want to do a chop even way for 100k, right? I then come back to the table after talking, right?
Good run for you.
Take all the £4 off, put it in the table, fight for that. That's the trophy. Say that again. 100 grand each. You put £4 off everyone in the middle to pay for 20 grand for the trophy. Yeah.
Right. So what he was suggesting was equal chop. Everyone gets 100 grand each, and then we play for the 20,000 that's remaining. So we play for 20,000, and you'll just see immediately Adam comes over. Adam's a pro too. He plays full time, and straight away you see his face drop, and he goes, no, absolutely no way, right?
Everyone in the middle to pay for 20 grand for the trophy.
Craig Houghton.
Yeah, that's twice.
Oh, Tower the White's
That's
just
twice
said
I've heard.
you look like a
So I
chubby
did a
boy
bit.
George.
So I instantly sang, "Do you really want to hurt me?" Because that was Boy George.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, "Stop singing."
So this is the point, right? So I come back, right, and then this is the point when I hear about this, or it's been like or more to the point, it's been put forward to me, right? And then this is the point where I say no. I mean, I'm not like flat out like no, that is outrageous. I just say nah, you know, that's it's not no, that's just no, it's not gonna work. That's not gonna work for me. That's it. So I just said that.
Oh god.
And then I'm not being funny, but right, do you know what it was like, right, to be in this situation, having eyes burning in the back of my skull like this, right? They all want to take a chop for 100k, and I'm saying no. I'm the only one in this whole crowd, apart from the people who are with me, who says no. I'm on a live stream, and I say no to 100 grand. Let that sink in for a minute. I declined 100 grand, right? I mean, it's not a nice spot to be in, really, and it's a spot that I never, ever thought I would be in. So obviously, everyone thinks I'm crazy, like, you know, but it just doesn't make any sense. And you'll hear the commentators like say the same thing. It's just like if it's ICM or nothing, like it's just as a chip leader, you just cannot do that. It's just crazy. So yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable. This, to be honest, it was a bit of an uncomfortable situation that I was in. I wasn't enjoying it.
No, having it. No, having it.
Please stop singing.
And I suggest ICM again. And I didn't want to be. I would have happily taken it. I would have been buzzing about ICM, but I didn't want to be like, oh, I really want it, because then it just you don't want to seem too keen for a deal, because it's just you can then get taken advantage of, can't you? So I just quietly said it again, no ICM, and they just said no. And even though ICM is the fairest way, but it's whatever. But what you're going to see happen now, right, is Georgian gets really salty, right? He gets really salty about it, like, which I don't understand why, because he's the shortest stack. I guess it's because he's the shortest stack there. He really wanted a deal, but and a few hands later, we'll just remember this. We'll come back to this, right? Just remember that I was the only one who said no for this deal that everybody wanted. Anyway, after all that, it was completely pointless, and then we ended up not making a deal and just carrying on. But I wish like I say, if I'd had more experience, I would have just been like, from the start, I would have said, look, I'm only taking ICM, and that's it. I'm not taking any more deals. I'm not taking any deals on the side. ICM, and that's it. And then we could have just decided yes or no.
No deal.
Anyway, I'm getting tired.
No deal.
Deal, but I want to wait until we lose one.
So all that discussion about the deal and stuff, blah 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 blah. Coming back, we play the very next hand. It folds round to me in the small blind. I've got the biggest stack. We've got an ace, right? So there's a small stack in the big blind.
Then, once you say that,
right? Standard shove, right? Surely.
The people in their brain, they're like, all right, if we last one more bust out, we're potentially going to deal, and I can lock myself.
Right, all in it goes. All in it goes. Standard, I believe.
Some more money, and then you, as the person that have turned down the deal, you can then actually be more aggressive because you know these guys are waiting for another bust out, because then we're going to talk deal numbers again and potentially lock up more money.
Put pressure on the small stack, who isn't as small as I thought he was. I need to get a better perception of how many chips people have got, because this is probably not as... I probably wouldn't have done this. I probably would have limped in had I really taken a good look at his stack. I really... This is one thing that I'm not good at, and I really need to be more aware of stack sizes at the table. It's not just a case of I'm in the small blind, he's in the big blind, I've got an ace, we just get it in. It completely depends on the stack size that they've got. So I don't really like this, to be honest, but it works out in the end. But what is so tilting about this, right, which is what I was going to, right, so we've just had the big chat about the deal and ICM and blah, 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 blah. They said no to ICM. Luke was one of the people who said no. This is the very next hand. We go all in on his big blind, right? He goes in the tank, and what does he say? What does he say to me? And he's being genuinely serious. He wasn't joking, because you can see how stressed he is with this decision. He says, "Oh, can we actually take that? Can we actually take the ICM deal?" I swear down, right? He says that you won't be able to. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it.
Assuming you're the one. With
I think
the
it was
chips.
when
But if you're against some inexperienced opponents, it's a little nugget that you can do when you are short-handed on final tables. Just say to them,
yeah,
right,
look, he just said that. He just said it then.
Numbers,
And you can see him. You can see him like, what? He says, "I wish I'd taken the ICM now."
It's opponents. It's a little nugget that you can do when you are short-handed on final tables. Just say to them.
Said, I wish I'd taken the ICM now.
Numbers, but I want to wait
and he's been deadly serious. Look how serious he's being.
The rest of the field tighten up because they don't want to bust. Because
I said, like, are you joking? And he said, no. That's why I started laughing, and I'm like looking across the table, like,
if you call this is the
what the hell? Like, I'm looking to see if anyone else is thinking the same thing. But the really frustrating thing is, the rule is you're not allowed to talk about another deal till someone else busts. So this is straight after the deal talk. He gets put in a situation and he goes, "Oh, actually, can we take the ICM?" Sorry, what? I just couldn't believe it. So anyway, I couldn't believe what happens next as well.
108 million chip pot. If he calls this.
So then we start talking about it again, right? We start talking about it again, but it's pointless because we're not allowed to. That's why he then comes over and says, "Look, you can't talk about deals, so just get on with the game." It's just absolute carnage.
Blind on blind tower. 20 bigs.
Wow.
Does just fold the nines. Blind on.
Anyway, if he folds nines, I could not believe it. Could not believe that when I watched this back. He might have said what he had, I don't know, but when I watched this back, I could not believe that's what he had. Dodged a bullet there. But again, this is what aggression does. This is, especially with this much money at top, people panic. They don't know what to do when you put them in awkward situations.
On blind there. Wow.
All the nines.
Like, we have some hands super crushed there. Like, you might even shove some 9-8 suited, 8-7 suited to start the side hands. All the pairs are in there, all the ace-X, king-X suited. There's a whole host in our opponent's range that we dominate, but it comes down to the fact, again, the money that's involved here, guys. It's a 20k ladder. just for outlasting another opponent, and this is going to be in these players' heads. Throughout the final table.
It tilted me so much that
what they're going to make if they make one more.
It really did.
And
I mean, I'm laughing at him. You know, I'm
to do with him
trying to have a good time and get on with everyone still. But within myself, I was fuming because there was that. Then on top of
that have tuned in to watch
what
this
you
final
should say
table.
is it happens every week.
the misclick and then that, and then
You get a lot, but not this much.
deal.
Tower.
It was just
It's Goliath.
I don't know what happens here, but it looks like I open. See, I made sure I didn't misclick that time. I deliberately, I think I might have said raise to. Made sure I put in the right amount. It's funny that it's the same hand as well, but I don't know what happens here. Oh, Luke just ships it, and we. Okay,
The
right,
lowest
yeah.
deal amount was £82,250 for Georgian in C number 3.
Right, this is right.
Kings
yeah.
for Luke. David's calling with the 9s. This is huge for Luke because this is going to put him over 100 million.
Yeah.
Luke gets in.
This is massive.
This is
David
Tower.
calls off. We've just got an easy
David
fold.
not folding the 9s. He's in.
If he wins this, ask him if he wants to deal. A straight chop. I don't think he'd say yes.
You see what I mean? Tower's taking the piss, like laughing, like, oh, because if Luke wins this, he's going to be the chip leader. He's like, oh, ask him if he wants to deal and have an even chop, yeah? See what you say then? Like, honestly, I can't believe I got made to feel like I was an idiot for the only one at the table saying no to an even chop.
Kings for Luke. This is massive.
yeah,
King on the flop as well, and that should do it. Running 7-8.
Oh, this vlog is too long. It's never gonna get posted. Look at. You hear. So obviously David's the bigger stack, right? So obviously if David wins, Luke gets busted, and we make more money. So you hear Adam shouts for a club. Not even a 9. He shouts for a club because David's the only one with a club, right?
Kings for Luke. This is massive. King on the flop as well. And
Right, and he flops a king. So then you just hear Adam go 7. Because obviously you can hit a 7 and then an 8 for a straight and then win the hand.
that should do it. Running 7-8.
7.
And that's it.
Need to see a 7 or 8 on this turn. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge double for Luke.
And that's it.
Kill it. Boat on the turn.
Massive for Luke. Massive.
And David Reed's run good comes to an end. Doesn't get there on this occasion. And Luke up over 100 million. 117 million, about 40% of the chips in play for that man.
But yeah, this is where it all goes just tits up for me now, because Luke wins that massive hand and he's sat on my direct left, so he's the big stack now and he's on my direct left, so it kind of like handcuffs me to like what I can do now. I can't play as aggressive and as wide, as I was doing, because up to this point it was going really well, it's working for me, but now after that it kind of changes the dynamic a lot.
Can go after Gambit now. He's sitting on his direct left tower. Gambit needs to be playing really tight, assuming Luke is going to take initiative now with the chip lead.
At this point, my rail was asking if I wanted a drink because they could tell I was really pissed off. They kept texting me being like, "Look, like, calm down, blah blah blah. It's all good. You're still chilling. You're still second. You still got loads of chips, blah blah." But I was like, it's funny. You can't really tell watching it on this stream, but like I was fuming, and I was really fuming. It's still about the misclick, to be honest. That's just what set me off. So they were just asking if I wanted a drink, like an actual drink, to just like calm me down. And I actually did accept. I did agree. I got a rum and coke. I was like, it's probably not a great idea drinking when I've got 200k in line, but fuck it. So I just get a rum and coke.
How many on? So
500.
This is unfortunate, right? Because obviously Luke does exactly the right thing. Dave's got 4 big blinds in the big blind. He just shoves basically any 2. Shoves queen 7 suited. to get David to fold, and he's got a call wide anyway.
Good. Yeah, I'm facing.
Yeah.
And he's got King 10, which is unfortunate. He's just got him. He's got him dominated. Well, not dominated. He's got him.
Facebook just ended.
Oh, good hand.
Better take peek here.
It's just so unfortunate because it's like 90%
go,
of the time. David just has
the
absolute
short
garbage.
stack specialist, if you
and
like,
has to fold
after
or just
yesterday's
has to call
performance.
off.
Does get it
with
in good here with the
garbage
King 10, blind on blind. Luke just shoving.
And we
the Queen
lose
7
David.
suited
But
for 4 bigs effective, and David with
David
the
is
King 10. Does have
the
the
short
best
stack
hand.
master apparently. This guy just could not get put down. He was down to 2 or 4 big blinds on day 2 or something. Crazy. What a legend.
Yeah, Facebook goes down because of an 8-hour live streaming law. Queen 9-2.
Just flops the queen.
Top pair.
Easy
We
game.
need a jack or
I think
a
there's a
king
sweat on
to
the
survive
turn. I
at
think it
this
might be a
moment in
spade.
time. Or a spade now.
It's an awful spade too now because he
A
can
jack.
hit jack too.
It's
Oh no,
David
sorry,
Tower.
I've got this completely wrong.
We know what's
Spade.
coming.
I've got this completely wrong. I thought David was the Queen 7. I've got it mixed up. David is the King 10. So yeah, sorry. It's yeah. That's actually so sick as well. Like Luke flopped the 7 with the Queen.
Or a king.
Yeah, and it's the Jack, and he just flopped. Rivers are straight, so David just stays alive. So sick.
Here he is, David Reed.
Running. There we go. Running Broadway.
Oh, David Reed doing David Reed things with a short stack, finding a river to get the double. We've seen it before, and I'm sure we're going to see it again. This man does not lie down. Can he go on the spin again today?
Amazing.
Madness,
Deal shout
absolute madness.
out to Tom, please. I love a no deal. I think that's meant to be shout out for Tom. So if it is Christy,
So yeah,
shout
David's
out for Tom.
got
A bit of a
King
typo
Queen,
there.
easy
I'm
shove
guessing
again
that's
with a
what
small
you meant
stack.
to say, and here he goes again,
Georgian
David
Jacks,
is
standard
all
call.
in with the King Queen. Georgian
Georgian's finally
reshuffles
getting
with the
involved.
jacks, and David gonna need to hit.
3, 4, 5 is as dry as you can get for the jacks.
Adam shouting for
Lovely
a
flop.
deuce.
But we know when David likes to hit tower, the turn's pointless. The 4 on the turn's pointless. It's always coming king or queen. It's David Reed.
Well, he's back down to 3 bigs. Well, he is.
Oh, it's a 9 of hearts. David doesn't get there on the river on this
Back down to
occasion.
David is just-
big blinds. Georgian up to 60 mil.
But he's been here before with 3 bigs.
He was literally just down to 4 big blinds. He doubles up, gets back in it. Right, King Queen. Yeah, here we go. And then loses, and he's down straight back down to 3 big blinds.
So the 2 guys that were absolutely desperate to chop the money have now both doubled up and both in prime position to get more.
How are we doing, Mary Garland? You two are amazing. You help me stop my nerves. Who you rooting for, Mary?
All in. Showed the short stack.
Oh my God, this hand.
Georgian with
is
the
just,
sixes.
this hand.
Could be calling this.
So obviously, David with his 3 big blinds, any hand he's going in, especially any ace, ships his ace 3 off. Georgian's actually got a hand again.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think,
God,
we can
this is
call,
madness.
but we don't want to be ISO in as Georgian here,
No.
even with 3 players behind. Obviously, in a normal scenario, we're always going to be calling 6s for this size jam, but with the...
He has announced all in.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, he's just announced call.
Okay, good. Good to see.
He announced call for 7.9 mil.
Yeah, this is
So
much better
Georgian
tower than ISO in here. It's
calls,
just a
yeah,
disaster
and
for us with
obviously-
Georgian, and we run into a
Luke completes because it's next to nothing to call, and you can just there's now 2 players that can possibly bust David out.
and from one of the big stacks that have got us
Not
covered
David
here.
personally,
this
but
is
the
it.
short
We
stack.
could be losing one.
But it's David Tower. David doesn't bust.
He's
We've been
going
watching.
And you have to think, right? We've just had 2 all-ins, right? Where we could have lost someone and laddered up, right? You're thinking right now we're in a spot where there's 2 people who could bust out the short stack. It's like, right, this has to be it, right?
Three-handed.
for
Because
2 days now.
Luke's made it up out the big as well. He knows the implications with 5th, 4th prize money.
Can anyone get rid of David Reed? That is the question. He must have been all in for his tournament life at least 15 times in the last 2 days that we've just seen on the stream.
Yeah. If David busts, it's a 20k jump for all players. And that's why Luke has called. Can't see any action, to be fair, on this flop turn or river, because it's 20,000 if David gets taken out by one of the two players in.
Have they joined forces?
You can't see.
And that just happens.
You can't.
Oh, Dave flops the way.
How are they going to flop it, baby?
A really good flop for David.
Now he's struggling out.
He's just got a fader 3 now. 6's redraw to the.
And obviously they just check it down. It's kind of a bit of a it's kind of a sick strat, really. But obviously everybody knows that these two, Georgian and Luke, can just check it down now. And Georgian and Luke don't care who wins. They just hope that one of them two beats David, so if someone gets knocked out, we make an extra 20 grand. But David just flops straight, like it's just
6 high straight, but David will not lie down. No one can get rid of him. King of clubs on the river, David Reid
One of them.
with the treble up plus more. How many times have we seen it from that man?
and look, you just go look at my reaction. I just can't believe it.
One of them.
With the treble up plus more. How many times have we seen it from that man over the last 2 days? He does not lose many all-ends. And back up to 27 million. He lives to fight another day.
No one can believe
And
it.
that's probably going to be it, guys. There's 15 seconds left on the clock, so we are on a 20-minute break. We're going to be back at 5 to 8 with the conclusion of the final table. We're 5-handed, everyone with just under 40k locked. We are back in 20. See you then.
See you then.
So we went off for a break, obviously. Then, guys, it's 20 past 3 in the morning for me right now. Oh, stick it out! Come on, let's get this video done. I think this is the first.
Let's go, Georgian, says Nikisaw.
And then again, straight in after the break.
For a few more tickets
David
next
goes
year instead
again.
of just
He's
one.
all
That's
in.
what you got to do, little Jay. The other half, that's what she done. She was just grinding satellites for like.
Easy call for Kyle. He's got ace jack. Just let's get it in. David shoving so wide again with a small stack.
3 months or so, just getting
I
herself.
mean, Kyle's got even short stack, so it's like
£30, £11 satellites, and
there
you do
goes.
play it like 3 months before the Goliath starts. You can get like as many as 10 tickets potentially ready for the week. We got an all in the cool hit, and Kyle is the player at risk up against David with the Jack 9 suited. So Kyle needing to hold here, not the opponent that you want to be up against when you want to hold tower. But that's a clean flop for us with the ace jack, just fading a 9 at the moment. And 8 of diamonds on the turn.
And the fade a 9.
He can't do it again. Surely not again. Ace jack of Kyle going to be up.
It's sick that David he's just dominated there, isn't it? Like, you know, Kyle's just not got like ace queen, or you know, you'd rather Kyle had ace queen than ace jack or ace king or something. Shame that he was dominated. Yeah, I mean, God, you have to have a tough mental for this game, don't you? David's first hand, a few hands after the break, just loses an all-in situation again. He had 4 big blinds, he doubled up. He went back down to 3 big blinds, he doubled up again, and now he's back down to 3 big blinds or whatever.
Up to 50 mil, 50
He has a rail, by the way, Mr. Kyle Jeffrey.
Like, if that was me, I would be losing my mind right now. I'd be having to go to the toilet for like just to do like an Eminem little look in the mirror, talk to myself, smack myself in the face, get some water on my face. She's like, alright, just calm down.
David back to his comfort zone here, Tower. Nice little 3.5 bigs for him.
How was David gone to 3 big blinds? The ace 9 against the, was it ace queen?
Yes, he lost
That was a big one.
And then he
And
doubled
now
up,
they're in
and
with the
then-
twos.
Here he goes again.
Oh, Georgian's all in as well. This could be it. We could be down at 4.
It's mad that we've not had a knockout. It's mad, absolutely
it's King
mad.
four.
Oh, and this is so sick. This hand, this is so sick, right? So obviously Dave ships however much it is, whatever, I can't see, but it's like 3 big blinds. Georgian then ISOs and reships for 42 million, which is like, what is it, like 12, 13 big blinds? And And then Kyle's got ace queen. So it's such a sick spot. Such a gross spot. I genuinely don't know what I would do here. I don't know what I would do. It's such a tough spot. I think maybe... Yeah, I don't know.
Georgian and Kyle with ace queen. Oh my word.
I'm glad it wasn't me who had to make this decision anyway.
It says 42 million. And Jeffers.
Oh, God.
The thing is, something here to take into account, obviously, is the ladder. And we look at the prizes here, guys. If we just last one more spot, we're going to lock up 20k. And that's going to be in Carl's mind. And the speed Georgian went all in there, it looks like he's going to have a hand that's going to be crushing the range that David should be shoving for that amount of big blinds. So Kyle might potentially let this one go, which I think would be right and okay, to potentially just lock up another 20k, hoping that Georgian does bust David. And that is exactly what he does. I can't get behind that.
I mean, I guess I'm saying that as a results-orientated fold because I can see the cards, but I genuinely don't know what I would do in that situation, because it's funny because, like, if that's day one, if that's early on in the tournament, I don't think people would be more inclined to call earlier on. But because it's so late, because there's so much money to play for, I genuinely don't know, because it's so close, right? I don't know. I feel like it's just so close, such a close spot. Because Georgian shove is only, again, we're so short stacked right now. Like, Georgian shove is only yeah, like I said, 12 big blinds or whatever. So it's like you could still have him crush. Like, you could have ace jack there, you know. So I don't know. Mind you, ace jack might just call. Ace jack would probably just call the 3 big blinds. So I don't know. It's a tough spot. It really is a tough spot. But, like, what a fold to see.
That's how it's £20,000 ladder. Like, we don't have to put a chip in, and we have a chance of making £20,000.
Yeah, anyway, it folds round.
And
watch Kyle's reaction, right?
And this is it.
When Georgian turns his hand over.
So David is on 11 mil.
Yeah.
Georgian is 4.
He's absolutely buzzing. Look at that. You would be. This late in the tournament to make a fold like that and to see the good news. Oh my God.
So David is on 11 mil, Georgian is 42 million, and our David is at risk again for the 17th time in 2022 in the same event.
He's not lying either. He's not even exaggerating, Tower. Can David survive again?
What's so sick though, right? What's so sick after all? It's so funny. It's such a brutal game, innit, right? You make the correct fold, right? And then you see the flop and this happens.
Yes, at the moment. However, are some plausible backdoors on this Queen 3-5 2 spades. Oh, Jack of diamonds to now fade in Ace King of 10 to double up for David. Can he double? Will he survive again?
So sick, isn't it? It's just so sick. So if he did make that call, obviously he would have won the hand, and I think it might have been a double knockout. He might have had Georgian covered. I'm not too sure, because he did just double up before that, didn't he? Against David. So had he called it, but obviously we can't be results orientated. But I think it's just one of them. It's either way, innit? I think it's a call or fold. It's so close. Like, you can't really argue that one is wrong. So I don't know. But yeah, pretty sick.
Yes, he will. David doubles again. He loves that stack size when he's got the 3 bigs. And back up to 29 million.
And what does he care at this? And what does he care now anyway? Because he went on to win it anyway. So
hits a Georgian stack down to 31.
Fair play.
Back to 10 bigs for both of them.
And yeah, now David's just doubled up again. Jesus, he's just been up and down like an absolute roller coaster. But look at this now. We're starting to creep into danger zone. We've got sub 20 bigs now. We're basically middle of the pack because we've got the same as Kyle. So we're not really in the best, and we've got the big stack on our direct left. So we're not in a great spot right now, to be honest. compared to what we were before that hand where Luke doubled up.
Good on, John. Well done.
And the other thing is we're struggling. I've edited it, haven't I? So you're not seeing all the hands. I've been carded at this point. I'm not finding any spots, any hands to play. So
Elliot Moraes. Aye, Elliot. 1,730. Gareth Cresswell and Peter Norton making up the final table lists who have been eliminated.
Ever since the deal, or ever since the misclick,
there's no link yet for the Goliath schedule 2023 conference. We've only got the dates. We can confirm the dates are 27th of July to the 6th of August.
Yeah.
So we've only got the dates. Peter Jeffcott, I remember watching the Tower in 2008. Got 14 years.
Right, and then this, right. So if you take everything into account, right, the fact that the table has been so passive. The fact that there's been no opens, the fact that it's not been very aggressive, the fact that there's not been any 3-betting, the fact that there's been so many walks, the fact that there's been raise and take it's, the fact that nobody's been defending, like when you take it all into account, right, and the fact that I've not played a hand for a while at this point, there's a lot more times gone by since I last played a hand, but. And I've been struggling to find hands. I've been struggling to find spots. I've been struggling to play how I was playing up until this point. So anyway, when it comes here, and I'm on the button actually, but I can't see the button because obviously Luke's to my left, and then you've got David, because obviously Georgian and Kyle have folded. So I'm on the button here clearly, even though there's no button there for some reason. And we've got King 4 off, and I was just like, you know what, like, maybe this is a good spot, because again, we get folds often, we get the chips, and at this point, 2 big blinds is huge. However, I'm pretty sure I shove it, yeah, so I shove it. However, after reflection, after talking to people, it's not, like the Queen Deuce one, I don't mind, I like that one. But this one, it's not good, is it really? And the main reason is because I think if the camera changes,
a young whippersnapper in your face, late face.
I nearly had brown hair and everything.
The main reason is because we've got Luke here on our direct left, and he's now a massive stack. He's not massive stack, but he's now the chip leader. So it's just not a good shove because Luke can just call off. As wide as he wants really, and he doesn't have as much pressure on him to fold, so it's like it's not really great, to be honest. And anyway, and it's a little unfortunate as well because especially with how wide David's been playing too, David actually wakes up with a monster.
And
David has ace queen off, so I guess we can take positives from the fact that plays like this got me to this point in the first place, being so aggressive, taking advantage of players not defending, players playing passive. I guess we can be grateful that it probably got me to this point, but yeah, we ran out of luck at this point, and that's unfortunate. But
these are going in. They are ace queen.
And again, it was one of the moments where it was just like, can't believe I have to turn this over on essentially live TV, because who watches terrestrial TV anymore? A stream is essentially live TV. So I can't believe I had to turn this hand over, and it was just embarrassing as hell. But at the same time, I'm not one of the people who like shies away from when you get caught. You get caught. Just turn your hand over. It winds you up so much when you're playing a cash game and someone's got caught bluffing and they're like trying to turn the hand over. Like, nobody cares if you're bluffing. You're bluffing. Just turn it over. We'll move on to the next hand. So unfortunately, we had to show this and see what.
Queen. The button jams with King 4.
Anyway, this is what, right. So what I was talking about before, this is what I wanted to talk about before with George and being salty, right? So, leading up to this, as you can see, my rail has been hyping me up, like, my rail has been gassing me up, like, proper supportive, and it was amazing, couldn't have asked for anything better, and I was so grateful, right? one of the things that they were doing, or one of the things that they were saying was like, they were saying things like, "You're amazing, right? You're so good. You know, you're the best player at the table. Blah blah blah. You know, just proper hyping me up, and it was sick. It was great. Like nobody else is. Well, Kyle's rail were really active, but nobody else was like, you know, saying things like, you know, you're the best player at the table. You've got this. This is your tournament. You're gonna win. Blah blah blah. Dead positive vibes, right? Anyway. When one of them went, oh, you're the best player at the table, obviously, like, they might, I actually don't know, I don't think they actually believe that, to be honest. They're just saying it just to hype me up, just to get me confident and just getting me to play well and feeling good about myself, right? Georgian, fucking Salt Bay over here, goes, when he hears that, he goes, oh yeah, clearly the best player at the table, like a proper salty comment, right? And anyway, when this happens, I shove with King 4, which I realise, yeah, okay, it's a bit out there, it's a little bit wild. When we turn this over, I feel like an absolute, I just feel like a weapon. I feel like a moron. I just want to shrink into my seat and just hide away. And it's just awful, right? And then you see him go, oh yeah, the greatest player. That's what he says, right? This best player at the table, right? And he looks at his mate over here, and then his mate's like looking at me, and like we're just making that, and it's just super awkward for it. It's super awkward. And I'm just like, and all because I just said no to an equal chop when I was the big stack. Like, get a grip, come on. And he's just being dead salty with me. But anyway, look.
And David has a chance to double. Again.
And what's funny is I knocked 3 people out because of how I was playing. So you ladded up 3 times because of me. And so he really didn't like me, but it's just whatever. So yeah, look, you see my face again. You see my face again when we get caught.
Again.
I'm just like, oh fuck my life. Like, oh, I was having a really bad time at this moment. I was like, get me the rum and coke, please.
So can David hold this time? Help with the deuces.
There we
Against 2
go.
overs. Can he get the hole versus the King 4?
So is this like the first time he's been all in front?
Well, he's all, technically he's all in front with the deuces.
Oh, yeah.
Not good for David.
Yeah, and it's just madness. We flopped the 4, and at this point I couldn't. I was like, I could. And then,
We know when David's specialty comes in tower, it's usually the river. But let's see if he can find it on.
and you can hear Adam going mental in the background, and my rail, and I think there's a few others who have just arrived at this point. I think you can hear Val and Angela.
Front with the deuces. Not good for David. But we know when David's specialty comes in
You
tower,
can
it's
hear
usually
Angela,
the
who's
river.
another regular.
But
where
let's
I
see if he
play.
can find it on the.
Then we get a clean turn, and then at this point, this is literally right here. This is where life peaked for me. This is where life peaked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. I've got 1 card to fade, to double up again, and to get the knockout.
And he can't the 6 of spades. So is this the end of the run of David Reed? Ace or queen needed. No, of course it's an ace from space.
Of course
Sit
it's a
back
marriage.
down, David. Of course it is. What are we talking about? Is this the end of David Reed? It's not. He finds another river card to keep him in the tournament. This man just will not lie down, and back up to 56 million. David Reed, what are you doing to us here in the comms box? Oh my word. And I said it earlier on, when it's your day, it's just your day. And David at it again. This is such great viewing for you guys. We are loving this in the box here. And
Hey, at least that's a good point. At least that's a good point. We put on a show. Hey, it was a good final table. It must have been a great final table to watch because there was so much action and stuff. But in terms of, well, there wasn't action in terms of actually play. There was action in terms of all in pre's all the time. But anyway, this is what really annoyed me. And did you see what I was talking about with Georgian, right? So, just back it up. Did you see? Well, after the ace hits, obviously, it's so funny. Oh, hindsight is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? Because it's so funny. Because at this point, right? At this point, obviously, everyone at the table wants the small stack. Everyone all the time, no matter what anybody says, always wants the small stack to bust, right? Because obviously, when that happens, you make more money because you've laddered up, you got an extra place. You always want that to happen. So at this point, obviously I'm winning, and at this point David's busting out, and everyone's making another 20 grand or whatever, right? So obviously everyone's just quiet. Everyone doesn't care that it might have been a bad shove, right? Or it might not have been the best play, right? So everyone's just quietly, you know, keeping to themselves, like, oh yeah, praying for the bust out, right? Then when the ace hits,
We
right?
needed. No!
GG's, David.
Of course it's an ace from space!
Right, so trying to avoid all the commotion, right? Just watch Georgian, right? He turns around to my rail and you can like lip read, and you can see him say, "Oh, this is the best player at the table, is it?" And I didn't even realise, but he doesn't do it just once; he does it twice to really emphasise the point. He's like, "Oh yeah, this player's the best player at the table, is he? Oh yeah, good one." Like, he took it so to heart, that comment, like when my rail was just gassing me up, saying man and best, blah 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 blah. And then after he points at me and says like, "Oh yeah, the best player here," and you see him, he goes like that to his mate. He's like, no, after that he's talking to David, and he's like, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing over here? Like, what the fuck? And then he looks at his mate and he's like, "What? Do you believe what this guy's doing?" Like, and obviously I can feel all this. I know I can see all this going on, but I'm not like, I don't really care. I'm not gonna make a scene out of it, but I can just feel the tension coming from this guy, and it was just so shit. And he's just such a little salty bitch. Oh god, right, just watch it, just watch it.
Sit back down, David, of course it is. What are we talking?
And you actually see me if you actually see me look at his mate, and I make eye contact with his mate, and I'm just like, oh god, yeah, it's embarrassing, right? But just get over it. Like, fuck me, might have made a mistake. But had that not have been an ace, and had that have been a 7 or a 6 or a 9 or anything else but an ace or a queen, he wouldn't have said anything. Wouldn't have said a word. Because he would just have made an extra 20 grand. Little salty bastard.
Ace from space. Sit back down, David. Of course it is. What are we talking about? Is this the end of David Reed? It's not. He finds another river card to keep him in the tournament. This man just will not lie down, and back up to 56 million. David Reed, what are you doing to us here in the comms box? Oh my word. And I said it earlier on, when it's your day, it's just your day. And David at it again. This is such great viewing for you guys. We are loving this in the box here. And David taking half of the chips from Gambit, Charlie there in seat 4, and I think that puts him back to 3rd in chips.
If anybody watching this doesn't play Goliath,
all because I said no to your offer where you had 8 big blinds or whatever, and you wanted an even chop for 100 grand each. And I'm the stupid one.
next year on the back of this, thinking anybody. I'll just going to chip it for the supper, settling down for evening.
It's funny because it's almost like karma is a bitch in a minute.
Entertainment.
Yeah, and raising take, and look at this. David back to the middle of the pack, and now Georgian, the man that.
It's funny as well because David's sound. David's a really nice guy, and I was actually buzzing for him to like be doing so well and to have so much hype and to be like such a crazy success story, being like on 2 big blinds or whatever, and just to keep coming back. It was just such a good story, such a sad. And I actually we met afterwards, and we had a pint. No, sorry, we met in the pub afterwards. Me and David. And we just had a little chat, and he was super sound. So like, you know, yeah, it was class. Whereas just fucking George and the little salty bitch on the other hand, like, fuck off.
Could have potentially taken home £82,000 if he just agreed to the deal. It's now the short stack, and potentially taking home 40k less if he is the next player to bust. What, probably 15, 16 all-ins we've seen the last couple of days has been the river card to keep him alive. That's been the best part about it. One card to come and he's just finding it every single time. So we've got Gambit here under the gun.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know if this is a shove. It might not be. Under the gun, I think on the button, yes. In the small blind, yes. In the big blind, yes, to a small blind complete, but under the gun, I don't know if this is a shove, really. It's just at this point, my head had gone. You know, I just was like, I just want to get it in. I just want to do something. I just want my chips back, and I've got a queen, and I've got a face card, and I've got a 10, so fuck it, in it goes.
Intent should be folding here, Tower.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Well, he's just going to move all in. Just think
we just lost so much momentum. That's the only way I can put it. We just, ever since the misclick, the deal, the what was the other thing that happened? I can't remember. But we just lost so much momentum. It's just unfortunate, really. Such a shame because it's going so well.
Georgian.
You can just tell with my body language and the fact that I'm not as chatty, and you can tell I'm not really there anymore.
This is your ace.
Yeah,
it doesn't very often fold an ace, to be fair.
And this is only a 8 big blind shove.
Yeah.
You can tell I was proper concentrating in all hands, and now I'm just not interested. I'm just like, yeah. Which is annoying me, because this is why it's such a mental game, because like David, who's just been up and down to like 3 big blinds and 2 big blinds and up and down and blah blah blah, and I'm down to, I've still got like 8, 9 big blinds here, so it's like, you know, I can just chill out. If David can do it from 4, then so can I, but I just, you know, I start experiencing that mentality that I've really got to work on.
That's for a count.
But Georgian,
you can see, look at me, I'm just wiping, I'm
bigs, I think.
putting my hands in my face, I'm done.
Going to take the spot,
Done,
but I
so
always talk about these.
If I bust it, I just wouldn't have been bothered. I'd just been like, yeah,
it's a big difference, a real
it's the way it's gone, really.
Looks like he is going to get called
But
by David.
Shouldn't really. I should have.
David could be getting it in with the
tried
best
to get my
hand
head
here.
back in the game.
If he does make the call, he's counted out the call. He's got it in front of him.
But like I say, I struggle with, when things are going badly, I struggle to turn it around immediately anyway.
I don't think he folds an ace, you know. I really don't. I don't think he folds an ace. Oh, he is.
And that fold is probably the most surprising of the lot, apart from the 9s. This one comes in a close second, only because you see, not only have I got a short stack, not only has David been playing so wide and been getting it in so many times, but you've seen 2 of the hands that I've shoved, and you've seen 2 of the hands that I've got it in with. Maybe he's thinking, oh, he's been caught out twice, so maybe he does actually have a massive hand this time. You know, you've seen the Queen Deuce and you've seen the King 4. I've been caught out twice, with my hands in the cookie jar. So this, for him to fold an ace here, like a medium ace, is just bewildering. I can't believe it. It's madness, I think. So, yeah, he folds. And,
well, he called with the ace-9, which is why I thought he might have been calling with the ace-8.
Yeah, and Georgian's going to get out of the way. So will this shove work from Gambit? It's going to be big from him if it does. Tower, little 25% stack increase.
I think he does.
Yeah, Carl not going to call off just under a phone. Stack King 8 off here. We're sitting nicely. We've got Gambit and we've got Georgian there. Both with really short stacks. Just outlasting those 2 is going to be worth a heap of money to us. So he's going to tank for a while here, Carl, but I think this would be a bit optimistic to be putting in.
Yeah, and then we get it, oh bloody hell, and then we get it through, you know, which is obviously what we wanted to happen and what we also wanted to happen in the last 2 hands that we got caught. But yeah, finally we get it through, and we take that, and like the commentator says, it's a 25% increase. So just to keep us alive for the next orbits, also.
Fair enough. Still gets it through. Yeah, he is Mark Waits. He is creeping into Ian Roberts' legendary status on stream for me. He's getting there, David. If he wins this, if you are watching,
but you see
Mr.
how
Ian
like
Roberts,
Luke's not played a hand
but
since Luke was the big stat. He's just not played a hand.
there's going to be a new hero in my life, I think.
And it's not like I've like cut a lot of stuff out. I've just cut out all the nonsense. Like I've cut out. I've kept in like key moments that people are playing.
just such a perfect
mainly all my hands, but like
to have a final table like
big
this,
hands with other people too. I've kept in,
with
so
all this action, all this entertainment.
I don't know.
Really good.
Sometimes I wish maybe I think, oh, that's what I should have done. I should have sat on my stack and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't really believe in that.
It would have been annoying if we got here after all the build-up of the week and it was a bit lackluster, not much happening, lots of folding.
I need to stop pausing, so I'm getting so tired now. I need this video to end.
That's not been the case.
This is a spot, right, where, well, I'll just show you what I've got.
I need a couple of
So, again, this is back to, it's exactly the same situation as before when Kyle opened and I 3-bet with the King 10. Obviously I had a big stack then, so I could 3-bet. Now this is the same situation, and I would always shove here, I think. Yeah, someone opens button, again it's just sort of super wide. I feel like I've said the word wide about 50 times on this video. I would always shove here because we just get so many hands to fold, and even if he does call sometimes we might be ahead, like if he's got like King Queen. So I would always shove, but because of just how it's been going, like this last hour or two, my head is just not in the right place. I'm like, I'm fed up, I've had enough, and I'm just like, I just don't feel it. I don't feel good, and I just fold because I just don't want to get involved. Essentially, I fold because I just didn't want to get involved because it was like, oh, we could just, you know, I was in a negative mindset at this point. You know, I was in such a positive mindset the entire way. At this point, I'm in a negative mindset, so I'm thinking, oh, right, he could just have, you know, a big ace, or he could just have a pocket pair, and I'm just crushed, or, you know, so I just folded. Like I just didn't want to get involved at this point, which is, you know, I'd lost it. My head had gone. My head had completely gone. It's a miracle I came third, honestly, but you'll see why in a minute.
There's still 5 left, guys. We've had
Maybe
5
not a minute,
for a while
but
now.
Soon.
Kyle there on the button.
Which is why I thought about it for so long. It's why I thought about it for so long, because I know I should be shoving there. I know. I feel like that's a shove, and I would usually, but my head's gone, so.
So just raise and take for Kyle. With the chips over there, Kyle's got some as well. I think Georgian's our short stack now. Obviously he was the short stack when the deal was offered. King Queen for Kyle under the gun. Gonna raise it up into the big blind of the short stack Georgian. I think Georgian's got around 6-5 big blinds, so Kyle should be aware that we have to call any all in here from Georgian if he does choose to move in the big blind, and he is going to move all in. There's the triangle, and Kyle has to snap this off. This, we have to be aware of this before.
So this is a nice hand. So Kyle obviously raises pre. Georgian shoves with a small stack. I don't know, I'm just repeating what the commentator said, to be honest, and then obviously just Kyle calls off.
And Georgian actually dominated here with the King Jack, so could potentially be going home with £39,000. Gonna need to find a Jack. He's off to his rail, walks around the table. Jack is needed for Georgian. I will let you know the deal figures after this hand, Cats, but it didn't go ahead anyway. It was turned down by the man that is at risk at the moment. So, off to the flop we go. There's a king. But just no help. Still in need of a Jack. 6 on the turn, not changing a thing, so Georgian gonna need the river. Jack is the requisite, and it's the 7 of clubs, so we do lose Georgian.
Karma is a bitch, so we lose Georgian in 5th, like, which is the exact same as what. Oh, I'm getting tired. Sorry. When the deal was proposed, it was 5 players. So, and Georgian had basically the same stack at that time. And I think he was offered, I think it was 80k. I think it was like 79k. And that's for the that was for the ICM deal. But he proposed to go for 100k, which I said no to. And he ended up busting out in 5th anyway. So he actually, and then he left with 40k. So yeah, karma's a bitch because he was just being a little salty bastard towards me. So unlucky mate. Maybe send out some positive vibes next time, and maybe things might go a bit more of a positive way for you.
Georgian taking home just shy of £40,000, and Kyle puts himself into the chip lead, and he's in the driver's seat now to take this one down. 5th for Georgian for £39,020.
Oh,
yeah, so the numbers were, guys, before it was 117 for David, 82 for Georgia, and 91 for
So 82, so he would have got 82k if he took an ICM, but he said no to that. So
Kyle, 120 for Charlie, 111 for Luke. Georgian proposed that they just do an equal 5-way chop, and they play for the remaining 10% of the prize pool. However, Charlie was a chip leader at the time and turned it down, as you would do. You're not going to give away that much equity. Someone that's getting the lowest ICM number now wants an even chop. And then they carried on playing.
Hallelujah! Finally some sense. Bloody hell. Thank you. I think it's Jay. I think he's called Jay. If he's not, I'm going to be really embarrassed. But yeah, bit of backup there.
And that was it. And obviously, it's not worked out on this occasion for Georgian. Folds round to David, ace-7 off here in the cut-off. David working with 13 big blinds here and finds an ace.
Right, so this is just right. This is just nuts. You can't write it, right? You can't write it. So we just had that happen. Georgian bust out. Right, just when you remember, right, how long we've been playing 5-handed. Remember, this is cut down, so this is hours and hours and hours upon hours of play 5-handed, right? And then we bust George now, and then this is the very next hand. I don't think it skipped, so I think this is the very next hand, right? David has 13 big blinds, right? He's just in the zone of all in or fold, right? Bearing in mind that this had not happened the entire final table. This had not happened. Not someone to raise, but he's raised to 15 million, right? When the blinds are 2 and 4. So, you know, you would expect a standard open to be 8 million, 8.5 million, 9 million, right? Something around that region. He's raised almost double that. He's raised to 15 million just open raised, right? And it's just I'm watching it again. I'm just baffled because it hadn't happened the entire time, and the fact that he's only got 13 big blinds, like it's just all in or fold, right? Anyway, so David decides to do that, and then Kyle has kings.
Oh, Kyle's got kings.
Oh my god! So the one time someone decides to like over raise someone's just got the second nuts pre-flop. Like, it's just, honestly, you can't write this stuff sometimes. And obviously, bearing in mind, I've got 7 big blinds, maybe less, actually. I think, no, I've got less because the blinds have gone up. So bearing in mind that Georgian just got knocked out, bearing in mind I've got 4 big blinds. I think I've got 4 big blinds at this point.
David makes it this size, 15 million. I don't think we're going to be flotting.
So he ships it. I've got 17 million. The blinds are Yeah, so literally the blinds have gone up. I've got 17 million. I've got 4, 8, 12. I've got 4 big blinds. Like I said, I've got 4 big blinds. So just take all that information into account, right? We've been playing for hours and hours, 5-handed, and no one's busted. We finally get a bust, right? Georgian leaves. The very, very, very next hand, I've got 4 big blinds. I'm in the big blind with 4 big blinds. And David just decides to open for the very first time. Decides to open to 5x pre-flop or whatever it was. I mean, to me, it's just unreal. You can't write it. And then not only that, is then just Kyle has kings as well. So it's just unbelievable, right? Let's play it. Roll the VT.
Just
Obviously,
in
I
time,
fold.
tell you, we just lost one, and
No, T-Boy, you want tea?
yeah, but I didn't know we were going to lose one.
What were you saying?
And this is it, because this is just what's happened. This is why opening to the size is just so silly. You just can't do it, especially with 13 big blinds, because now you're handcuffed. You can't fold because you just put so much money in already. Like, whereas if you'd made it like 8 million, you might be able to fold anyway, but you should just be going all in or folding. It's just so unlucky that Kyle's got kings here, but
Wow.
he just put himself in a really, really sticky situation that he could have avoided.
We lost Georgian, literally, and now David is put in 50.
And this is madness. This is absolute madness. But the thing is, right, you have to remember, obviously, none of us have been in this situation ever, right? There's so much information to take in, so many bits of info that you have to think about, but you don't always think about all of them because you're so focused on one thing. You tend to forget other things that you should have been thinking about, and usually it's like afterwards that you realise, oh shit, yeah, his stack size was that big, or he did raise it that big, or you know, he has been folding that often, blah blah blah. You think about all these things afterwards, but when you're in the heat of the moment, you're locked in, and you can only sort of think about the decision and whatnot. It's hard to get out of that moment and look at stack sizes and look at what's going on and blah blah blah. So the fact that he's tanking here when I've got 4 big blinds and I'm in the big blind, I'm about to lose 2 million chips in the small blind.
15 million.
It's just amazing. It's just unbelievable what happens
Yeah,
next.
raise size way too big from David, going near 4x remit, and it's a lot of our stack we put in here, Tower.
I'm
Between
so tired.
25 and 30%. He's going to.
He calls, and by the looks of it, by the way he puts the chip, by the way that he was thinking for a while, and then the way he puts his chips in, he just picks up a huge stack and he just dumps it, and it just rolls. It looks like a fuck it call. Like, it looks like, oh, you know what? We've made it to 4th place. Fuck it, let's just go. Let's just get it in. If we bust, we're not really fussed, which is fair enough. You know, it's fair enough. I did it before with the Queen 10 off. I was just like, fuck it, get it in. I don't care anymore. So that seems like a fuck it call, but it's yeah.
Call it off with the 8-7. Kyle's got the kings, and David with
So obviously I'm just sat here praying for kings to hold up.
the A7, and Kyle
Absolutely
potentially going to have
praying.
70%.
If kings wins
chips in
here,
play.
I make what is it, 30 grand? If
Here,
kings
Tower.
win, I make
But you
30
know
grand.
what
Simple
it
as
is.
that. There's no poker to be played here. Nothing left to happen. It's just as simple as if kings win, I make 30 grand. That's all I'm sat here thinking. Right here. So that's all I'm sat here thinking. Especially if how bad this has been going for me. The back end of this stream, how bad this has been going for me. I'm just sat here. I'm just looking at, and I'm just thinking, just please, just kings hold up one time.
No,
Hey,
sorry.
space, here it comes.
We've been here before with
We'll not
David.
commentate until the river.
All right, yeah, we'll leave the board, guys. So David here, once more, drawing to 3 outs. Can he find it?
And would you believe it? He flops the ace. This guy, the guy who just literally David Goliath. We're all. No, it's like he's Goliath actually, and we're all David. Oh wait, I don't know. I'm getting so tired. I can't even think of metaphors. But yeah, he flops the ace. Of course, he flops one of his 3 outs. Of course.
Yes, he can! Ace on the flop for David. He does it again, and just the 2 outs to fade now.
And at this point, literally at this point, I needed a miracle. I needed a miracle because it looked like David was gonna double up, and I was gonna have 4 big blinds and just be screwed and just have to try and work a miracle.
David will not lie down. 10 of spades on.
And then the 10 hits the turn, so it now brings backdoor outs for the kings, right? So we just get a little glimpse of hope. But at this point, I'm just like, nah, you know, I've already accepted 4th in my head. I've already accepted 4th. It's already over.
The turn does bring in 4 more outs for the kings. So king or jack needed to fade for David.
And then it's a king. It's a king. That king right there made me 30 grand. That king. Madness. Absolute madness.
The run for Reed. Oh my word, I was not expecting that. The run for Mr. Reed is over. What a run it's been. He's
Look at him, the legend just casually takes a sip of his pint. Oh yeah, who gives a fuck?
gone countless all-in calls over and over again. He's been down to 3 bigs, up to 50, back down to 4, up to 20, back down to 3, up to 10. But David Reed finally, Kyle gets him. But what an effort from that man. David going to be taking home £60,960. Finally someone gets him. I was not expecting to see that river card after the flop, but that was some entertainment we saw from David Reed there. He has really entertained us all here on the feature table, and it's just been incredible to watch.
Wow. Wow, what a great run. I'm not being funny, but that is what this game is all about. Unbelievable.
And then literally, wow, it was literally 3 hands back to back to back. Madness after 5-handed for so long. Literally, again, the very next hand, I think I just went over to my rail just to say, look, my head is gone, you know, we need a miracle. It's just, and I'm just trying to get a bit of gas.
Just wow.
And Kyle's just in such a great spot now, just chip leading, 3-handed, like, oh, what I would have given to be in that spot, just to raise any hand and just play every hand and just...
So nearly there, guys. We've literally gone, we were 5-handed for ages, and we've just gone from 5 to 3 in a heartbeat, and...
Right, and then it falls to me, small blind, big blind, 3-handed, we've got a king. Essentially, I know it's king 3 off, but you know, it's massive here. Effectively, we got a king, so it's going in.
Over to Gambit here, who's short, so we could lose him soon. He's got a king, blind on blind. This is a shove, and it's a snap from Luke.
Yeah, Luke, it's just unfortunate that, you know, he can call off with anything here. Really, he can call anything, not anything, but you know, a lot of stuff. And it's just unfortunate he's got me crushed. He's got king 10 of hearts, not even king 10 of spades. Like, my hearts aren't even live. We're just dead to a 3. So it's just a really disappointing way to go out, really.
He heads up.
Well, I'll just spoil it, but I mean, you know, I come third anyway. So.
Wowzers.
So Luke's in front as well, and the fist bump from Kyle here. This is huge for Kyle as well. He's not in the hand towel, but it's a 35k ladder here. If
89,120 is staring down at his Charlie. Yeah, Charlie sat there, got 4 big blinds, and he's just made an extra 29,000. That's the way it goes. No help.
No runners either tower.
At the minute for Charlie, no running cards.
Yeah,
we need
no
a 3.
runners. Not even like a 5 deuce, 6-5 deuce flop or something, or 6-5 4 flop, just nothing. No hearts, no backdoors, just no nothing. It's just the worst. Just no sweat. It's just no sweat at all.
To survive.
King 10.
8%. 3 outs twice. 2's no good.
And it was so sick when I saw that 2. When I saw that 2, I was like, oh, like, you know, oh, it couldn't have been it was the 2 of hearts. It was just couldn't have been a closer card to like think it was a 3. Like, oh, and just oh.
Turn. Are we going to be heads up just like that? 3 is the requisite.
Is it a 3? It is not. The crowd goes wild yet again. This is one of the best rails we've ever had. We're down to 2.
Yeah, £89,120 for Gambit. Charlie Tarimbo is going to take home a life-changing score there, just under 90k. And we're just heads up like that, Tower. It's just gone thick and fast. You go and get the cuppers, and you miss your. Go get another one. Go get another one. We'll be done.
There we are, third for 89,120. Obviously we're absolutely gassed, but like I think there's a saying, isn't there? There's only one person who's not disappointed in a tournament, and that's the winner. You know, because when you play a tournament, it's always what if. You always wish you could have done better. You know, the only way you couldn't possibly have done better is if you actually win it. So. No matter where you place, if you bubble, it's like, oh my god, what if I'd just done this and I could have just min-cashed, and then if you min-cash, it's like, oh, what if I'd done this and I could have just, you know, crept up a few more places, and then it's like, you know, what if you come 10th, it's like, oh, what if I did that, you know, just so I could have made the final table, and it's like, if you come second, it's like, oh, you know, it's amazing, but it's like, oh, what could I have done just to come first, you know? So it's like, you're never really satisfied unless you win it, really, but, you know, that is, yeah, my biggest score ever, obviously, and it's just opened up so many doors for me. So it's amazing. So yeah, it's unbelievable, really. It's madness in it when you really, it's crazy. From one buy-in, yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now. But. God.
Go get some more teas in and we're done.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. That's what I was going to say. It's just a really disappointing way to go out, really, isn't it? Like, because the momentum we had, like, at the start, and we had hands to play, and we were getting involved, and we were making things happen. But you know, ever since that misclick, my head went, and just things went to pop. So. Learn experience, and hopefully we can take it down next time. So I think, anyway, I'll just play the last hand that they go out on. I'm just gonna do it like this instead.
So ace 4 for Kyle on the button. That makes it 12 million.
Yeah, Luke, yeah, I would defend here with Queen 8 suited, 100%. What the blinds, 2 and 4 million.
And Luke with a nice one to defend here, Tower, Queen 8 of spades.
Yeah.
I don't have any heads up experience whatsoever, so don't take what I say for granted. Or I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm so tired right now. It's 4:15 in the morning. This is the life of a poker player. My sleep schedule's so messed up, so that's why I'm awake right now. I just figured I'd just get this video done out of the way.
Give you an update on the seniors after this hand.
And it's an action flop. It comes ace 9 deuce with 2 spades.
Oh, when we got action.
Definitely c-betting this. It's Kyle's on the button, isn't he? So Luke's to act first. I would check raise this if I was Luke, probably. Just because of my aggressive nature and the fact that Kyle's probably going to c-bet, and then he's probably just c-betting a ton of his hands, especially heads up, especially with an ace on the board. He's just c-betting all the time, so I would probably just check raise this.
Ace 9,
which I'm guessing is what happens.
9 deuce,
because obviously
2 spades here. It's a top pair for Kyle.
Yeah.
And a flush draw.
Flush draw for Luke.
He c-bets plus 24 million. He c-bets what looks to be 7.5. Is that? Yeah.
Really like the size and choice.
Nice
here
sizing.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Nice small
like,
bet here with our top pair.
Promise I've not watched this. But I was just about to say nice size, and commentator goes nice size, and I generally go a third on flops. Something I've learnt lately.
Doesn't need protection. Get value from.
And yeah, Luke check raises, which I like, to be honest. We got back doors too, so.
Flush draws, 9x deuce x, maybe even some king highs heads up.
So raises to 23 mil. We're going to be calling.
Yeah, you don't want to jam. You never jamming as Kyle here, because you're not getting called by a worse hand unless it. And then if what's calling, like a deuce in check raising, a nine's not check raising. He doesn't have a better ace. Obviously the way it played pre-flop, just calling. You could have like ace nine maybe, to be honest. But obviously yeah, you don't want to shove as Kyle, because you just what worse hands are calling. Is a flush draw even calling when you shove the flop? Probably not, because it was like, it would have been a chunk, right? It would have been like, I don't know, it would have been a big shove, so yeah, calls.
Top pair here is ace x.
Now the turns of deuce, now I don't actually like shipping. I'm assuming Luke ships here, but I don't like it because a paired board is generally, when the board pairs up, right, in general it's a bad card to bluff, so and it's usually better for Kyle's range when he just calls, when he bets the flop and just calls a raise. This favors Kyle so much more, because Luke's never got pocket nines, right, because he would have 3-bet pre. I mean, you could have pocket deuces, but it's just highly unlikely. So this deuce just favors Kyle so much more, so much more than Luke. And he could just, if he does shove, you could just be dead to aces, like, because if you had aces, you would just call, and you could just be dead to nines too. So it's just, it's a really bad card this on the turn. So I'm guessing he shoves. It's the only way this hand goes in, because. Unless he calls.
It's actually probably better to see the 9 pair here than the deuce, because deuce x of spades is a thing, 9x of spades isn't a thing, and look, just shove.
Oh, he just shoves, and it's just, yeah. I mean, it to be fair, it's crazy actually, because he barely played a hand on the final table, and yeah, to see this. I mean, if I was Kyle, I actually genuinely would have been like. Would have been. It's put him in a really tough spot, because like, you've not got a good ace, have you? Really, you've just got ace high, because now the 9 plays, your kicker doesn't play, so it's just ace. It's just ace high. It's not ace high, but you know what I mean. It's just an ace. So like, you even lose into like ace 10, but I mean, you know, he never has ace 10 here, because he probably doesn't check raise ace 10, and probably doesn't over jam with ace 10 as well, because the flush draw's not calling. But it just, yeah, it puts ace 4 in a 6 spot, to be honest. So it's, and if you Kyle, it's like I was saying before, in these situations when there's so much money on the line, and we're inexperienced, we've never been in this situation before. It's really hard to decipher a hand. So obviously, usually when you're in this situation that Kyle's in now, where he's got to call this all in, you what's that word when you go backwards and try and figure it out? You engineer it. You reverse engineer the hand. So you go backwards and you tell yourself what happened on each street, what happened pre-flop, what happened on the flop, what happened on the turn, blah 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 blah, and you reverse engineer it, and then you work out. Would he do it with this hand? Would he do it with that hand? So, and if you actually do that, and you sit back and you think about it, it doesn't make sense really for like the reasons I was saying on the turn, before he shoved. Like, it's just like, what hands do you have? What value hands? What hands do you have for value that you're shipping here? And not just shipping, but over betting. You never have aces. You never have nines. You rarely have pocket deuces. You only have one combo of deuces. You wouldn't do this. Would you do this? Yeah. Would you do this with ace nine? Probably not. You probably wouldn't jam. You would probably just value bet with ace nine. You could have ace nine, but I don't think you'd jam with ace nine. Could he have a two? No, because he check raised the flop, so it just makes no sense to have a two. Could he have ace deuce? Again, if you had ace deuce, you wouldn't over bet here. So what do you have? What do you have? What could he have? That's jamming for value here. So obviously you can't. I can't think of any hands that it has for value. Then it just has to be a bluff, and whatever bluff it is, it's the obvious one is just spades. But he could maybe have a smaller. He could have maybe ace three and turned it into a bluff, or like pocket. He could have pocket fives or something and be turned it into a bluff. But I don't know if Luke's the type of person to do that. But yeah, so I just think it's a really, really, really tough spot.
Oh, Luke shoves.
And I'm assuming
Kyle.
he obviously must call because obviously he wins. But
He's got the ace.
Well, this
not-
is
Oh my
this
days.
is kind of interesting because we
Like,
start the hand with just over
we can see the
25
cards,
bigs.
but
There's not
it's just
really
like I say, it's just
a lot of ace X we're behind.
it's a really tough spot. So let's just listen to what the commentator says,
overplayed his
because
top
I'm
pair
interested
here
to
as
see
ace
what he
X.
say. I've just rambled on for so long. I'm so
Pairs
tired.
up.
Yeah, it's actually probably better to see the 9 pair here than the deuce, because deuce X of spades is a thing, 9 X of spades isn't a thing, and Luke just shoves.
Oh, Luke shoves. Kyle.
Yeah, deuce X of spades is a hand that I didn't consider. Yeah, we could have deuce X of spades, but
He's got the ace.
Well, this
Oh my
is
days.
kind of interesting because we start the hand with just over 25 bigs. There's not really a lot of ace X we're behind to here as Kyle, other than ace 9 and ace deuce, which is probably gonna not shove this turn tower. So
exactly. That's exactly what I just said. Like, you just wouldn't shove with ace 9, ace deuce, because you're just losing value. So the fact that we've got a small ace just is kind of inconsequential, because it's just an ace or nothing really. Because like the commentator just said, there's no way Luke has a better ace. There's just no way he has a better ace. So the fact that it's ace 4 doesn't really matter. So that's why it's such a difficult spot.
So it's only really ace 9 we lose to, because ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, ace king, they're all going to be shoves pre over the open.
Yeah.
Them hands want to rip pre. So I think Kyle has to call here because of the flush draw being out there, and it's going to be in our opponent's range. And sometimes he may rock up with deuce X of spades or ace 9.
Oh wow, he didn't. I mean, he thought about it for a little bit, but he didn't think that long. And yeah, fair play, Kyle. Nice call, mate. Very nice call. Because in that situation, I can't imagine what it would have been like. I would have loved to have. I wouldn't have liked to have been in it, but I would have liked to have been in it, because I would have thought that I would have backed myself to make the right decision. So nice call, Kyle. Well played, mate.
That's cool. It's cool. This could be it.
Obviously, no cash game. Don't get to run it twice. So obviously, Luke is praying for that spade.
We could have the biggest event in the Britain won by Kyle Jeffrey right now.
All in and call on the turn.
With one card to come.
Ace of spades, deuce of hearts, deuce of diamonds.
I'm going to turn my headset down because we know what's coming.
For the flush draw.
So just in case,
And Kyle showing ace 4 off.
Tower's heading out to the floor. But Luke can still survive. Spade is needed here. River card is the 9 of diamonds. We have a winner, guys. That is it. Goliath is over. Kyle Jeffrey defeating Luke Cheslin. Heads up, £200,000 for him. What a tournament it's been. unbelievable turnout. It's exceeded all expectations. We've said it over and over again all week long. Tower and I have had a fantastic time. You guys in the chat box have been amazing. Wouldn't have been able to do it without you. We're going to head over to Tower really shortly for the trophy presentation, but not much.
Well played, mate. Well played. Oh right. Anyway, I can't believe I've got through that. To be honest, it's at this time it's now 4:30 in the morning. So anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I have no idea what's to come for my next videos. I don't know when this is going to be posted. It might be posted. I'm just gonna stop rambling. Right. Catch you later.